Green.
Green.
I like it. Did you make it from scratch or is it pre-made? How do you put yours together?
It's made from scratch. It's kale, spinach, strawberry.
Can you see my screen now? Hold on, guys. I had to go into privacy on the Mac and then change the Mac to loud. Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah, we can see you. We can't see your screen.
Not on the screen.
No.
Oh yeah, we see it. We see it.
You see it, Nick. We don't see it.
I wonder if I should just
do. I think you got to be the person. What's the name?
You see it? Everybody see it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is sick. Whoa.
It's gonna crash.
Technology, dude.
By the way, guys, we're live.
Hey,
we're just gonna give everybody 10 minutes to tune in, but we're live.
So, Jabbar, you want to talk to us about what you're doing here?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do. Hold on. Did it go through? I'm trying to log into PropStream to show people how to find deals in certain zip codes and area and how to use it, because a lot of people don't have the MLS access. So a lot of times people are like, Jabbar, what do you use? I just use PropStream.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about logging people for access. But MLS, unless I need it.
Yeah, it's like a perfect alternative, right? What's that echo?
I think it's because Jabbar's watching the video of the video.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, that's why it's doing that.
By the way, for anyone who's tuning in, we are going to be getting started in 8 minutes. So from now until then, just do some small talk. Oh, yeah, he's echoing that, yo.
Sorry.
Yeah, somebody got a cell phone next to it or something.
I'm trying to figure out if I should.
Was that you, Evan?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if I should do it on my phone or not.
No, if you do, all you gotta do is you have to mute the mic because
I did that. I muted the mic on my computer.
Okay, and then you gotta also mute the okay, you muted the mic on the computer, and yeah, it should work. I don't know, but we couldn't hear you, so I think you got the computer on.
I muted it on the computer.
Look, if you wanna broadcast the stream, Evan, all you gotta do is you gotta go on Facebook and share the stream because it's streaming right on Facebook right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because this platform that I'm using is built specifically for like Facebook sharing.
How? Where do I share it from? Did you tag me?
Yeah, I'll tag you.
EVAN steal my name.
Whoa.
Evan. He's talking about you, Evan. He's talking about you. You guys
got names, Evan.
Oh yeah, because his name is Evan.
He took your name, buddy. He took your name.
Is this the Facebook.Pennsylvania REI?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll link it to you.
Okay. I think you have to pay for this.
You like this stuff, don't you?
He stole my name.
Wait, whose name is Evan?
My little son right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the best name ever.
It's the best thing ever, right? That's a very good time for you to say that, Evan, by the way.
Great.
I was watching you.
You watching me? I'm sweating over here.
How is he? He's doing good, right?
Yeah, I was one of the ones who was watching you guys on live.
I feel like I need a hat.
You don't need a hat. You look good. Come on, brother. Jabbar, no hat.
Drop the prop.
Is everyone wearing hats today? Do I need to get something on this?
Grab a hat. Grab a hat.
You're the only one that's not
You
going
gotta
bald. You and Nick.
You gotta get a mask.
Excuse me? What was that, Nick?
You're the only one not going bald.
Jabbar, that's not funny, bro.
You know what I mean?
It's coming to me, buddy.
Why did you steal my name?
He's not even there right now,
Why
man.
is he not there anymore?
He disappeared. Oh, he just came. Oh, look at that. Boys, we need to do a hat show ASAP.
Hello, Samantha Miller.
What's up, Samantha? Putting it in the comment section. How to find REI leads. Okay, so Jabbar, you just shared that to the private chat. And we got the live comments here. Good. By the way, anyone who's tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're tuning in from right now, we're going to get started here in a few minutes. We just got small talk going right now. So, gentlemen, let's start this off with why the hat selection, gentlemen. We'll start with Jabbar first. Workwithbar.com. Come on, Bar. Give me
Well,
something.
gotta definitely wear the hat. The Phillies. It's supposed to be the season for baseball if they ever start up again.
Right. So it's baseball season and Bar's always ready at all times, right?
Always.
I love it. Evan, talk to me about what's going on here, buddy.
Well, I look at this thing and I see Jabbar wearing a hat. I see Sean wearing a hat. I'm like, I'm sweating. My hairline looks horrible, so I got to put a hat on.
Yeah, but I
Only
mean,
reason.
please tell me in a past life or something you were a cowboy because you're rocking it, buddy.
Not even in the past life, I still am.
Right now, man. And last but not least, I mean, Sean, talk to me about what's going on, buddy. Talk to me about what's going on with the hat.
You know what? I always before wore fitted hats facing forward prior, and I wore it real down low.
Yeah.
Then when I did it, I felt like I didn't want people to see me, but I could see them. Since then, I think I've gotten more, I guess you could look in the name, radiant. And, you know what? I'm ready for everything coming at me. And I want to see it and let them see me. So I learned to just flip it back around because I still am comfortable with hat, but I like to gel it too. But it's just been long and it's been hitting my face. It's been hitting my eye because the quarantine. So I haven't been able to get an official trim, but I've been just shaving the sides. So hat it is for right now, guys.
Evan,
I just sent you the URL.
Evan, you want to tell us about your hat? What we got going on here? What is this? Power Ranger, right?
That is Star Wars. Cut it out.
Color. I didn't know this, dude. Come on, don't come at me like this.
Ain't it your kid?
Come on, dude. Yeah, it's my kid. What do you think? No, I don't have kids, dude.
I mean, like,
You do not have kids.
No, I do not.
oh man, you got to know that.
I'm
That's
not your kid.
Darth Vader,
Why's Daddy coming up?
new Darth Vader.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Daddy. What are you doing?
Hey,
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Daddy.
when you have kids, you start learning about cartoons real quick and movies.
Let's go.
All right, buddy. I'll see you later. You can come on later.
So we know where Elijah is.
You guys know where I'm at, boys. What's funny is Nick's in the garage. That's where him and his kids are going to be. But yeah, I'm up in his office right now. But yeah, we redid the whole garage so you can see the lighting so good. That's why we look so good, as always. It's just how it is, gentlemen. Everyone who's tuning in, no audio issues. Let me know right now in the comment section. Can you hear us loud and clear? And if so, put the hands up or the rainbow, whatever you're feeling. Put it in the comment section so I can make sure audio is good on our end. Let's see who we got here. Miss Samantha Miller in the house. Ooh, an early riser, 701. Doug Paul's in the building. What's up, Doug? Doug from New Jersey. Hamilton, what's up, baby? How are you guys? All right. So you guys going to keep the hats on the whole show, right? No one's taking them off?
Once I get too hot,
Oh, so you can do the switcheroo, huh?
I'm gonna switch.
Wait, so Evan, are you do you ride horses and stuff?
No.
Oh, I wasn't sure, dude. I don't know. Is that a thing in Philadelphia?
No.
Yeah, it's like
Kind of is, actually.
it's like West Philly, Kensington. Once in a while, you see
Ride horses around. Oh man, that's great. All right, how are we doing, Nick? We ready?
Yeah, you got a minute, but you can start.
All right, 60-second. We'll do a 60-second meditation.
No, you can start.
I'm just kidding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the one, the only Philadelphia Real Estate Investors Association. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Elijah Barber. I'm from New Jersey. We do business in Philly and Jersey. We got my main host in the building, the one, the only, Nick Tang. Nick, introduce yourself.
I'm actually not hosting. I just came on to make sure it's running well. I'm just gonna make an announcement later about an event we're doing that's free, and but other than that, you're the host for today.
I appreciate that, Nick. But we do gotta applaud you for putting all.
Elijah, did you freeze?
What happened? Oh. No, we're good.
No, I thought you froze.
We do gotta applaud. I never freeze. We do gotta applaud you, Nick, for doing all the behind the scenes work, really putting stuff together, and really just having a great show for us. So everyone, put your hands together for Nick Tang. Come on. Yeah, just like
what about everybody else?
All right, real quick, guys, listen, if you're tuning in, okay, if you're watching from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching from, okay, from the PropStream platform, I want you to put it in the comment section right now. Let us know where you're watching from. And don't you dare say your living room, okay? I want you to tell me what town or what neighborhood you're watching from. Let us know where you're tuning in at. So a little bit about our club, and I'm going to call out some of those people so maybe we can pin up some of their comments. Actually, let me wait for those. They coming in. Who's first?
Yeah.
Audio's good. Susan says audio's good. Nahan with the hand raised, my brother. Thank you.
Can you select them or no?
I can't, no.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, here we go. We got Chris from Bronx. Oh, wow, these things are flying in now.
Oh, nice. I can see
Alan,
that.
Bronx, New York in the building. Where's everybody else at? All right, we got West Philly with Samantha. Hamilton from Hainesport, New Jersey. Seth from Westmount Erie. Someone said on Facebook, I love that, Susan. From PA. And last one, Alvin from Manhattan. Well, guys, first and foremost, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited. Evan's going to be giving out $100 bills throughout the whole event, as you can see.
Oh, $1,000.
Oh, $1,000 bills, baby.
You gave me one.
Oh, snap.
Oh, man. You guys are killing it, okay? So today's event, we're going to be talking about wholesaling, right? Wholesaling is one of those topics that you may have heard of, you may not have heard of. It's one of those words that kind of get thrown around here and there. And it's actually one of those things that a lot of people don't know about. And it's a super creative way to get started in real estate, especially if you have no money, especially if you have no connections, and especially if you have no education. Our three guests that are here with us today, we got Evan, Sean, and Jabbar, okay? These guys are absolute killers in the wholesale space, and we're going to be diving in with them deep and understanding like what they're doing in their business, how they got started, and really we have the opportunity to learn from them. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for being here. We're going to get into intros in 1 second. We do have two quick announcements. First announcement is that this is the Philadelphia Real Estate Investors Association. All right. We literally have the largest real estate meetup groups in the entire country. Okay. In the entire country. This has been over a 10-year process that my partner here, Nick Tang, has been building out. He's provided a great platform, a great community. It's been nothing but consistent, valuable education with awesome people who take time out of their day to be here to teach us what they're going through, what they're experiencing, so we can learn from their mistakes so we don't have to face the same thing. So we have the largest real estate meetup groups in the entire country. In addition to that, okay, we have a lot of these live events. We also have a lot of recordings. So if you're brand new to the business, maybe you want to learn fix and flip. I understand today is a wholesale event, but maybe you want to check out fix and flip or buy and hold, right? And you want to know how to do that right now. We have a tremendous amount of recordings that are available for our Prime members, okay? And these recordings are basically us diving in and telling you exactly how we do buy and hold, step by step, exactly the correct way to do fix and flip, step by step, right? Raising money, buying from sheriff sales, short sales. All of that is available to our Prime members. At the end of this event, Nick is going to be sending you guys more information in regards to what is the membership, what's all included, the pricing for it, because it's really, we do offer it at a very special discount for those of you who take action on the live webinars. I think you're going to get it for like $100, $97. Gives you access to the whole club for an entire year. It's the bargain of a lifetime. Okay, would you guys agree? Yeah, make some noise for it. Ooh. Got the head nod, baby.
Yo, bargain.
So Nick's going to be sending you guys more information at the end of the event in regards to that. Trust me, if you're in the real estate space, you're looking for a community to get involved with, especially local guys, you're not going to want to miss our community. So make sure you sign up at the end of the event. That's it for my announcements. Nick, I know you have something special for us. You want to share that with us?
I'm gonna give Evan. Evan, you have something you want to promote too, right? A program you're doing soon.
Oh, I coach. I have a 4-week beginner course. So there's so many people, like, even though, yeah, you don't need any kind of education, you don't need any kind of money, but you do need to have basic fundamentals, right? It's just like, I always like to compare it to playing basketball. Everybody wants to go out there and slam dunk the ball, but they can't dribble, they can't shoot, they can't run. So that's what I do. I have a 4-week course, and it goes over all the fundamentals for wholesaling. So it goes over deal analysis, finding motivated sellers, finding buyers, doing marketing, basic scripts. So a lot of different things that are just like a baseline that you really need, anybody would need in wholesaling.
I love that. And if for people who are interested, do they shoot you an email, get in touch with you? How do they get in touch with you?
484-800-2749, or just if you're on Facebook, shoot me a message on Facebook, DM me, because I got classes probably running either next week or the week after.
We're excited, man. Evan, we're excited to learn from you. Nick, anything else?
Yeah. So thanks so much, Evan, for that announcement. I just want to let everybody that's on the stream know. So I actually got started in real estate back in 2007 when the market was kind of like in the same state it is right now. It's just that right now it seems like it's the level of uncertainty is lasting longer. Whereas before, when I got started, like, you know, the market literally just went up and then it crashed like a few months later. And it took a long time going up, but then it crashed. And when it crashed, what happened was that's when I got started. And I only knew one thing when I got started, which was looking for deals as cheap as possible, you know, at a discount or what. But I didn't even know what value was. I just knew whatever people were asking me to, like, they want their house for. I was just trying to get it for like 50 cents a dollar of that versus figuring out what it's actually worth and getting 50% of that. But my point is, I eventually figured it out, and I did a lot of marketing at that time, and I ran into so many different types of deals. But I only knew how to understand like what a deal with equity looks like, meaning like, you know, I'm getting it for 50 cents a dollar or something like that. I instead passed on so many deals that were like, hey, the homeowners were telling me, take over my payments, or you know, I'll sell you my house for what I owe, or this and that, or they were willing to sell and finance me houses, but I didn't understand what that was to even take it upon myself to do something with it. And so looking back at it today, I passed on so many creative finance deals or so many deals that I should have bought, but I didn't know how to raise money. And so I'm doing a expo on creative real estate investing on August 7th. No, is it August 17th? It's August 15th, sorry. And it's going to be, I'm going to have like 24 speakers talking about creative real estate investing, how they raise money, how they structure deals so they can get it, all this stuff. For like literally being able to do all this with no money out of pocket. And you can RSVP for this event. Give me 1 second, Evan. For free. Okay, so it's an event where we have like 24 presentations going on, but I'm making sure that at least half of it is free. And so if you RSVP for it, you can participate in the live stream of the event, and you can also learn from it and all that for free. And if you like it and you want to access the other segments, you can pay for it. But there's a promo right now. We're selling it for $25 right now for full access. And then if you just want to access the free segments, it's, you know, then you can just go and RSVP and get access for free. The website for that is, give me 1 second, Evan. Don't press that button. It's New Jersey, spelled out, REIA.com. I'm going to post it in the comments. And the event is on August 15th. So it's called New Jersey's first Creative Real Estate Investors Expo. And so if you want to participate in that event, go to that website, RSVP for it, and then you can, when the event comes around, you can watch it and all that, participate in the event. Like I said, we're going to probably end up with about 1,000 people participating in this event. And it's for this event, also, it's predominantly focused on New Jersey speakers. But if this goes well, I'm going to do Phillies in like an event specifically just on Philly speakers in September. Other than that, that's it. It's NewJerseyREIA.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are excited, we're getting ready to get intros from the speakers. I want you to put in the comment section right now, I want you to type in energy, baby. Put as many E's, put as many N's, put as many Y's as you feeling. Go ahead and put energy in the comment section. Let me see it. If you are ready to dive in to this wholesaling strategy, put it in the comment section right now. All right, Joey Chan, we see your comments, baby. We love you. Shout out Joey Chan. Okay, gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started with some intros here. Up first from 925 Investments, baby. We got the one, the only Sean. Sean, please give us a back, or just tell us who you are.
All right, guys. So my name is Radiant Sean. To be honest, compared to Evan and Jabbar, I'm such a newbie. It's a bit embarrassing, but something that I do want to deliver for everybody is speak to those that are new, that really is just starting off and they don't really have the right foundation. And I can relate to that because again, guys, I am new, and when I started wholesaling, every day wholesaling was on my mind. And you know what else was on my mind? I mean, you guys could take a guess. And to be honest, it was money. And I sat with myself a lot, because every time I go out there, I see a seller, I thought about making money. I see a buyer, I thought it could be anybody. I thought about making money. And, something that was always on my mind was how much can I constantly make? And I sat with myself a lot. And because every time I go out there, I didn't like how I felt when I came home. And when I first started, I couldn't pinpoint what that was. But honestly, today, I do have a huge understanding of what that difference was. And that was my focus on making money was really wrong. And what do you think the seller's going to feel if that's all I'm focusing on? They're really going to just feel that I'm all about myself and not necessarily them. So as I progressed, I really started to change my mindset. And I learned along this journey that mindset is everything is really important. And guys, I'm still new, I'm still a newbie myself. And I'm talking to the new people out there that wants to do this. And to be honest, I'm not out here to really wholesale. That's not what I do. I am a wholesaler, yes, but only to my investors who understand, to my buyers who get that, but to my sellers, what I really do is I'm a service provider. I be of value and service to anybody. I provide solutions to help them move forward and move forward fast, really. So what I do is I do my best to educate sellers, help them understand what their situation may be, and also give them as many options to move forward as possible. I do this pretty much over and over, and as deals presents itself, it helps. That's when I find that perfect match, when alignment is there, and that's what people don't get. And for me, to be honest, I hate hard selling someone to selling their property. For me, it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't resonate with me. So if you guys really know me, for those that know me out there, I am a firm believer in karma. So I try to go out there every day and just serve people. And to be honest, I think if some of you guys know me, I live in a really dangerous neighborhood, Southwest Philadelphia to be exact. And I'm not gonna lie, I really am working hard to try to get out. And I do need to focus on money to get out. But I truly believe if I do the right things, the universe will always reward me for that, going out there with integrity. And I already know it has, because just in the short period of time that I've been doing this, I can't even understand all the great things that really been happening for me. And I'm really just doing me, I'm just being radiant. And
man.
That's who I am, and you guys see that name right there.
That's such a vulnerable opening. It's like everything's a transfer of energy. And what you just said, dude, you already made it, bro. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to have you on here. We're excited to dive in more into your story in a little bit. Thank you, Sean. All right. Workwithbar.com, baby. Tell me about this slogan, baby. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Jabbar.
Let me unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
So I think I've been in real estate longer than everybody, but I'm not sure. 1996, when I was at Drexel University, I answered a sign saying, answer phone calls. And I worked for New Age, which was a green sign all over Drexel, Temple, and basically started answering phone calls. And as I was watching other investors come in, collect their check, like Drexel Properties, this guy came in, was 26 years old. I think he sold 1825 Mount Vernon Street. Never forget the address. He made about, I think it was $60,000 was his check. I was like, wait a minute, what did you do to do this? And he said, I just flipped the property on Mount Vernon. It was a triplex for like $250 or $2 something. And I was like, what? And I was like, but how old are you? And he was like 26. He said, you could do it too. And I didn't know he was a wholesaler and an investor. And long story short, he just told me the story how to get into real estate. But at the time I was an IS major. And at the time, people didn't even know what the internet was at that time. And he just told me, you could get into real estate I said, well, I got to get my real estate license. And at the time, he was like, no, you don't really need it, but I didn't know what he meant. And then Bart told me, go get your license. And he was like, get your license, you know, and learn about real estate, the fundamentals, which I don't think people nowadays need the real estate license. There's so much good free classes out there, Nick Tang's events, you know what I mean, Better Than Success, different groups and teams of people who are working together to teach you about real estate. But if you feel like you need to get your real estate license, so at the time, what I did was I was going to Drexel, and on the weekends, I was going to Temple to get my real estate license. I did that for 6-7 months. And then I started working at Coldwell Banker, and then I met Drew DeMarco. Drew was buying 7 houses a week. I think one year he bought 150 properties during the 2007 and the fallout where everybody was losing their properties. And watching him as a beast, I've seen him go from 200 properties to about 892 over the time frame. I think I worked for him for about 5-6 years. And over that time, I learned about real estate, and I learned that I had my own lane, because I realized with a retail person, as what we call people who are just buying one house. I just talked to my mom about this today. They buy one house every 5 to 7 years or 5 to 10 years. Investors buy properties usually every quarter, every other month. And you might have some investors that buy properties every month, depending on the size of their crew. And at that time, I started realizing, like, I'm not really a wholesaler, as I would take JV deals from other wholesalers and sell them, because I was sending postcards out, like 500 postcards a month to do a farm area, call a banker. And it would be like, I get a call, go, somebody come, offer more money, lose the deal. And I'm like, man, this ain't working. But what I realized, if I work with other people, other wholesalers who are in the business, and they lock up deals, then I can work with them to move their properties. So I got to the point where I was pretty good at moving properties, because I built up a good list of cash buyers and people who are looking to buy properties every month. And that's how I got work with Bar. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm shout out Dan. He's like, work with Bar. And I was like, yo, workwithbar.com.
It's catchy, baby.
I mean, and that's how I did it. But I've been doing this 20 plus years. And I think my best year, well, go back to Coldwell Banker, from 2001 and on, I bought properties. I was buying like 4 houses a month. I went really hard at it. You know what I mean? Like, I literally picked out my 5 zip codes I wanted to be in: Olney, Germantown, West Oak Lane, Mount Airy. I think they've always been stable. At the time when I was doing this, properties were like 41,000, 35,000. And I didn't really pay attention to how I was buying the property. All I looked at was the numbers, not necessarily the neighborhood, which is something I don't suggest people do. The numbers could look good, could be a reason. Like when people tell you the house is in Temple and it's really not Temple. 19th and Diamond is not Temple. Students don't go there. So make sure you check when someone tells you a property is a certain address, just like if they say it's Brewery Town, and you're like, oh man, I bought this property for 150,000. It's a shell in Brewery Town, and it's not Brewery Town, it's Strawberry Mansion or Sharswood. So you want to make sure that you physically go see the property and analyze what's going on and see what the neighborhood's doing. Talk to people, ask questions.
Jabbar.
Oh, sorry.
Intro, baby. Intro. All right. I'm going to come back to you for the story. All right. Thank you, Jabbar. Evan, give us a 60-second intro. Let us know who you are.
Hey, what's up? I'm Evan. I deadlifted 430 pounds recently.
That's good.
And I am the strongest and best looking wholesaler in the Philadelphia area.
In the world.
I started, Jabbar said he started in 1996. I actually started in real estate in 1980 when I was born in a house. I just lived in a house back then. So, but I started back in 2007 and I bought a bunch of rental properties in the wrong areas, the worst areas, and at the wrong time. Went belly up. I was almost $1 million in debt by 2010, and I had to regroup. And eventually, I was able to settle or pay back all of that. And here we are, 10 years later, with a new cycle. And I've been wholesaling full time, doing real estate for over 4 years now. I was in sales. In between that time, I had a 6-figure job, and I quit that job to make more money doing real estate. So is that 60 seconds?
You killed it, brother. I definitely appreciate that intro. Yeah. All right. So let's go to Sean. Sean, I want to kind of dive in a little bit deeper here. I know you said that you're still kind of new. First of all, dude, even you're new or not, you have killer energy. You've had some great successes already. And we're excited to dive in and learn from both the success and the failures. But with that being said, kind of take me back to that first deal, right? So anyone who's new on here, they want to know, like, How'd you generate the first deal? How'd you even know it was a deal? How'd you find a buyer for it? Walk us through that first deal that you did a few years back.
Yeah, so my first deal, I started July 20 of 17. When I made that decision to become a real estate investor, it was a birthday gift actually to myself. My birthday just passed last week, July 3rd. So it was just a good time, right? And I bought real estate education as a gift to myself. And I did it behind my family's back. So the education package was $2,000. And I was just at a point in my life where I was already looking for something new, and real estate investing was being so promoted on my social media that I was like, you know what? I asked for an opportunity. This popped up. I'm going to go for it. And I just kept taking action because I went to my first networking event, or I guess you could say pitch of this package. And they did mention wholesaling in there. And I like the idea that it's no money to get started to make, to flip a contract. And that idea itself was something phenomenal. Like you said, a lot of people didn't know about. I didn't know about it prior, but I was like, if people are doing it, I could do it too. If you guys know of Brian Mara, he was the one that was pitching me that night. He's one of the greatest short sale stallions, I guess he likes to go by in the game. And he just kept laser focusing on me for some reason. And I just kept tuning in, and I did buy the education. And since I did it behind my now fiance's back, I was like, I had to make results. I had to make results to pay this education back. That was my motivation, really. I was like, I gotta really do something with it before she yell at me. And 90 days later, I guess 60 days in, I found a deal on Craigslist. So that's where I first found my first wholesale deal. And what I learned early on was to filter out investors, realtors, language to find a for sale by owner language where it was a lot more basic. So when I made that connection, I started to filter out immediately what wasn't for me and what I really needed. And I found this for sale by owner. And I went to meet him for the property he listed. It was the house he was living in. We didn't agree on it, but he did have another house he was trying to get rid of. And he had a few properties he was trying to get rid of because he was trying to move down to Atlanta to become a restaurateur. So I so happened to find him at a good place. I locked up that other property of his that he had at $10,000. Frame done. It had an HVAC system along with it. At the time, I didn't know how valuable it was actually in the process that it was in, that it was framed out, HVAC unit already there. I was like, man, but I got it for $10,000. And exactly 30 days later, I made a wholesale. I settled on the contract on the 30th day. Jabbar, I'm not sure if you remember, I reached out to Jabbar, like, Jabbar, I need a buy. So how I found a buy, I reached out to everybody that I had seen on teach something prior at a networking event. If they had a crowd around them, I already had made a connection with them. So I just started to reach out to those connections of people that was pitching, that had a platform, that were doing stuff. And I was like, Jabbar, I need help. This and that, go check it out. And he did go check it out. I actually remember the live that Jabbar did checking it out. He didn't find me a buyer, but I did end up getting a buyer through another mentor of mine. Shout out to Jason Centeno. And we closed on the 30th day, and it was incredible. Made $10K. Took it home to the family, bought dinner, showed them, shared the story. And it was a really good start for them, for my warm market to believe in me.
Because, wait, Sean, so is that when your wife found out that you spent the $2,000?
Yeah. I did. I told the family and everything. I bought this, but look, it worked. Literally went home, bought like a $500 dinner, and we were eating. And I invited a few of our friends over that I was telling about me doing this, and they just always was positive and showing me love. That when it happened, I wanted them to be there to celebrate, because I was like, remember when I said it? And then it just happened so fast, So it's an incredible thing. And it was just a really good start. Like if you're dropping a pebble in the pond, I dropped a pebble in my family pond, and it rippled out. And now like they just are amazed, even I am, So that was my first deal. And
yeah, man, I got to say, on the Facebook post, because we did a poll on like who we should invite as a speaker, Sean was the #1 voted. I got to give it to you, buddy. I got to give it to you. So Sean, tell me, man. I'm brand new to the business, right?
Right.
I'm on Craigslist. I'm filtering through Craigslist, trying to find some sort of for sale by homeowner or some form of motivation. How did you have that conversation on the phone? Were you nervous at all? What did the conversation go like? Were you super direct? Were you just trying to get to know him? Tell me about that conversation that you had with the seller on the first touch.
Okay, before I do, I'm about to connect on this one.
That's enough.
The show's
He had
over.
the spotlight on him, and then he took it away. I tell you, just can't keep still.
Hey, I
Eyes
said
were-
stop, and then you go and touch.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must say we are live, okay? This is a live
Anything's
show here.
possible. Yeah, I remember the first time Sean sent me that deal. He
Yeah.
said- I didn't even know he was a wholesaler. I was like, what? And I got a text because, at the time we do our events, I always give people my phone number, tell them how to get in contact with me, which I always tell people you go to events. It's to meet people and network and build your list up. And I seen the first property. I think I took my buyer, Dan, with me, and we looked at the property. I think his offer was going to be too low. So I said, find something. But I think that Sean's biggest thing is that he's consistent, always positive, upbeat. You want to work with him. You want to see him succeed. And a lot of times he didn't act like anybody owe him anything. And I think people get into any online business, they think that if they just work, 30 days, they should be rich in the next 30 days. And that's not how it works. It's always building up your buyer's list, building up your leads, contacting people, getting on the phone and talking to people. And here we go. You're back, baby.
Yeah.
You're better
Tell
than
them how wonderful you are.
Jabbar was just
Thank you
fire.
for that. I heard everything you said. I appreciate those kind words.
Thank you, Jabbar. All right.
What was that question?
Yeah, no. So the question was, how did the conversation go with the seller? What was the first touch like?
All right. So luckily, prior to actually finding my first FSBO for sale by owner, I had made appointments everywhere and anywhere that I can. Right. So I didn't realize then with those appointments, I was going on in a hot July day, summer, buttoned up, trying to be presentable, but I'm going to meet like other wholesalers. And I'm like, oh man, I'm running into dead ends. But going out to those appointments and looking at the houses gave me a lot of practice. Up until it really was a lot of practice. All that action taking and just doing. Like I remember my first property I went to, and I remember going into the living room, not knowing what I'm looking at. I'm like, nice. And in my head, I'm thinking, 4 walls. That's I didn't know nothing. I literally didn't know nothing. It's like, but I winged it and I did my best and I kept doing it after and after and after. And I guess when I found my first FSBO, I was just at a point where, what else do I gotta lose? Hey, how you doing? I see you have an ad. You're trying to sell your property. I would love to schedule a time to come look at when are you available. I was at the point where like, man, it's just straight communication at this point. There's nothing to be nervous about. And it's like, if they don't want to, schedule a time frame for me, I just have to keep beating at it until they do. And luckily he was at a state where he was just real simple about it. Yeah, I'm trying to sell it. You can come tomorrow. I'm like, great. And I'm going there, and I went there initially. And I just vibe with him on a level where, you know what? I'm really personable. Let's not even make this about real estate. Let's just connect, because he was familiar with streetwear, and I was actually still working retail management, the streetwear scene. Jabbar visited my retail store, Timberland at the time. Jabbar I didn't even realize, Jabbar, we connected a lot at the beginning. But I connected it with him immediately on just the streetwear scene and stuff like that. And I just eliminated real estate, and I was like, let's just connect, And then I hopped into it. I was like, so you want to sell this house? How much are you looking for? And then he told me, and I said, for me, I went to the 65% rule because I did my best. I didn't do no comps, I'm gonna be honest. I just reached out to a few of my peers that had access to Bright because I didn't know anything. And they said, get it at this price. And I did my best to do it. He said no. And then that's when he brought up the other one. And I was like, all right, let's go check it out. And he's like, okay, let's go. And then we just drove over there and came back to the house, and we just was playing with numbers. I came back the next day, played with more numbers. I brought my good friend who introduced me to real estate, which you guys may know, Houdini. He came with me just to support me, and he was actually interested in the actual house, but that didn't work, and we just ended up at 10,000. And even that was, my God, it was nerve wracking, because for me, it felt like I was running a marathon and I was sweating bullets. He gave me the key to the house, but he didn't sign the contract. So I'm like holding the key. I'm looking at him like, you know what? Let me not key this until he signed. I'm sweating when he signed. I just wanted to run out and just shout like, yes, but I kept my cool, put it on. I was like, all right, I'll reach out to you for the next process. And even after him signing, I didn't know what the next process was at all. You know, I did not know anything, because to me, getting that contract signed was a huge result for me. And whether I sold it or not, just to go through that emotion and feeling with it for the first time was incredible, and it was just amazing.
Man, you just hit the nail on the head. Few huge points I want to hit on, and then I have one final question for you, Sean. But I think number one thing, and Evan, Jabbar, let me know if I'm off, but to sales is commonality, right? Can you establish something in common with the person that you're talking to? Because if so, you start to build some of that trust. And you being in the retail space, and this guy, loving retail, it was like a match made in heaven. You guys are made for each other, which is awesome. The second thing that I want to hit on is that you hit two words that someone may not know, which are comps as well as 65%. Do you want to talk about what a comp is real quick for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, so a comparable is what the term actually is. A comparable is taking something that you have and finding something exactly that, but more fixed up at a price level for a brand new homeowner to move in, like a turnkey. So if I have a house at 1,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, I'm going to look for something that's sold in the last 3 to 6 months. You try to stay in a 1/4 mile radius, right? That was exactly 1,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, something exactly apples for apples. And it will give you a guide to see, all right, if I fix up this house, I can get maybe 100,000, right? So the 65% rule for investors is we want to be 65% all in, right? Knowing that early on, I was like, okay, if something's worth 100,000, I have to be able to sell it to an investor at maybe 65,000 with my wholesale fee, but be safe there, let's say 60,000. So that means, that's where I'm going my number off of, not 100, but I'm starting at 60,000 and working my way backwards. So I will minus my wholesale fee, I will minus the construction, the rehab costs, and then I will minus closing costs, and then the
purchase price.
The purchase price. And then, if you're in the negative, then that means there has to be some adjustment in maybe your fee. Maybe you can go back and negotiate with the seller, or, you can negotiate with the buyer, but, those are factors that you have to think about.
Yeah, man. Thank you for hitting both of those points. So in terms of the seller, right? You guys met, you guys talked, you guys built that commonality. And then he was like, you guys couldn't agree on the first one, but he had another one. And you're like, yo, let's do that one then. And let's figure out a price that works for both of us. And so you went out there and saw it. You eventually agreed on a price. You put it under contract. Next comes finding the buyer. So what you said at the beginning of your intro was that you did a lot of networking. Can you talk to me kind of a little bit about the conversation that you would have with these end buyers? How would you figure out if they were real? Did you have any idea if they were real? And where did you meet these guys at?
All right. So, I learned that, after working my retail job, that because I'm trying to dive into this space, I got to be present in it. So anytime there was a networking event within the group I joined or any other one, I would attend. And I realized, what? Being in retail, living paycheck to paycheck at the time, I thought I never really gained anything. But really, in reality, I learned what retail gave me, being that I was able to lead and manage a store of, let's say, 10 to 15 people. And the value I had was communication. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, you know what? I can go to these events and just communicate, do what I'm good at, build rapport with everybody. And I'm not an individual that was actually scared to do that, to approach Jabbar early on. Or even at the time, Jabbar was doing these lives in his Rittenhouse Square every morning, walking around. I'm like going on there like, come visit me. I'm right there. Come visit me. Come visit me. And I guess the only way to actually gauge if somebody's serious is to approach them. And for me, I was never scared to approach and say, hey, what do you got going on? What are you doing? Can I come visit? Can I see? And that's how I learned to gauge seriousness with people, you know?
Yeah, didn't I come see you too? I was like, did a live, and you're like, I'm right around the corner from you.
Yeah.
I went right to your shop. Like, yo, let's connect.
Before 15 minutes later, and bought a pair of boots.
That's awesome. All right, Sean, thank you so much for that beginning story, man. It's such an inspiration. All right, let's go over here to Jabbar. Jabbar, I know you've been in the game for a while, doing so many deals, but man, take me back to, you know, that first deal. I know you were working with, you know, Drew, learning from him. Talk to me about kind of the beginning. How are you marketing? How'd you find the first deal? How'd you qualify, and how did you end up selling it?
Well, what's crazy is at the time I was working at UPS, Philabagel, Caldwell Banker, going to Drexel, and going to Temple. So
you're doing all that?
Yeah, at the same time.
Jeez, man.
I'm Jamaican, both sides.
Come on.
So, people tell me they don't got time. It's a lie. You have 24 hours in a day. So 24 hours in a day, let's say you sleep for 8. You got 12 hours, a little bit over 14 hours left, 16 hours left. And you go to work or go to school for 4 hours, and you go to work for the rest. You know what I mean? Because I really wanted it. What happened was, all my life, people told me, you know, Jabbar, you got to go to school, get an education. And I thought that was the way out. I said, all right, well, cool. So I put my blinders on. So literally, I was working since I was 14 at Martin's Aquariums. In my 8th grade, I had decided that I wanted better for myself and get out of my situation. Me and my best friend, Derek, at the time was like, yo, what do we got to do? Our teacher, Mr. Cannon, was like, yo, get a job, you know, save up some money, make sure you could do what you want with your money. So by the time I got to high school, I was working already full time, right? Well, basically 20 hours a week. But at that time, during the summer, I worked full time. And then it was just like noticing how the people I was around, because I was in Jenkintown, people with money, they had cars, they dressed nice. And I was just like, I don't want to be a drug dealer. So I'm just going to work hard. And as I was in school, I started to see like, all right, you own this? And they were like, yeah, I own, you know, where I live. I own these properties, and it helps fund my dreams. And I heard that, and it resonated with me. But I'm like, yeah, but it ain't gonna work for me. I have a funny little accent, and they would always correct me when I was at Martin's Aquariums. Like, what you saying? Like always, over and over again. So long story short, I get to college, and I'm like, I'm gonna be an IS major, Information System Technologies. And as I get there, I realized I'm the only one who had a job, a car. And I'm like, y'all don't have a job? They're like, no, we do work study. What's the work study? And I was like, it was weird to me. Like, y'all don't work? Their parents took care of everything. I mean, I literally got kicked out like when I was 16 years old. My mom kicked me out. So she said, I thought I knew too much. And she's like, go pay some bills.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like, go pay some bills. But at that time, 1996, it was network marketing was like the big thing back then. So I had joined Prime America, Amway, all different companies. And what they taught me was when I would go to the meetings is they would talk to people. And I was just like, man, y'all, that's all y'all do to make money is talk to people. And I thought it was such a cool thing. But mind you, my mindset still was college education, go make, I think at the time I would have made $50,000 a year as an IS major. But now that I'm in UPS, to get promoted, I'm like, yo, I'm qualified. The guy was there was like, yo, you can get promoted tomorrow. You know, you're an IS major. We're looking to hire IS major. He's retiring. And the lady was in front of me said, I need you, so you're not going anywhere. And I was like, what's that mean? Like, what you mean you need me? I'm not going anywhere. And literally, I was working for New Age, answering calls, handing people checks of $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month. Drexel Properties, I know now, probably own 200 properties around Drexel. And one of their properties at that time was getting 10 grand a month, just one property. And it made me realize, like, wait a minute, I'm chasing the wrong tail, the wrong horse. Like, I'm trying to get a job. These dudes don't got no jobs. They went to Drexel and they started buying properties in the neighborhood so they had enough properties to pay the way they wanted to live. So in 1996 or 97, I got a pre-approval letter at 18 years old for $65,000. The property was on Chestnut Street, and Bart was telling me, buy the property. He said, in a couple of years, it'll be valuable. This is 34th and Chestnut. At that time, nobody went past 30th and Chestnut. Just think about where that is right now. And they wanted $65,000 for it. It was 3-story twin. The house next door was a triplex, but this one wasn't zoned right. The lady was, her parents died, left her the property. She lived in Florida, and she had it listed for $65,000. I made an offer of $60,000 with it with 6% seller's assessed. She turned it down. She said full price or no deal. And literally, I walked away because everyone else around me said to me, "You are in college. You're a freshman. There is no reason for you to buy properties. Just worry about reading." Because in my family, and most families are people from foreign countries, your education is get an education, get a job, and that's how you live your life.
Right.
Now, I'm not listening to the wealthy millionaire who owns Bart, who owns all this property now. If you notice, he just built a building on Spring Garden Street from the ground up, new age, big ass sign. And then I said, you know what? Maybe I need more education. So then I think 2000, I started going to Temple to go get my Temple's classes on Saturdays from 9 to 12 or 8 to 12. And then on Sundays, I show property. So I started working at Coldwell Banker, and I'm watching these checks come in. I think at the time, Drew was bringing in somewhere around $50,000 a month, $80,000 a month in cash flow. And on Fridays, he'd look at properties. And on Fridays, guess who was there? I was with him. I used to work 3 hours at nighttime at Coldwell Banker because they had mandatory shifts you had to do. I think 3 times a week you had to show up. So I would do the night shift after class. And what made it so crazy was if he didn't look at 22 houses that week, every week, he felt like they weren't doing their job. And I was like, damn. So I'm at the office doing my 5 to 9 shift. We were the only office in the state that stayed up. They had somebody there till 9 o'clock at night. Sometimes I'd be there to 12 with him. And someone called the office. I think this was 2001. Someone called the office and said, "Hey, my father passed away. I want to sell the house." And I said, "Well, how much do you want for the house?" It was on Harrison Street, 1509 or 1515 Harrison Street. I can name every property I've ever sold or bought. So I get there and he said, "Yeah, he hung himself." I was like, "What? He hung himself?" I said, "Well, you can't put that on the MLS. No one's going to buy it." And he's like, "Well, how much would you give it to me cash?" And I was like, "You want a cash offer?" So I'm looking up the values. I'm like, the house is worth $60,000, $70,000. I did not check to see that it was a multifamily RM1. All I did was just check the size of the property. It was a row. It was in Frankfurt, across from the hospital. I said, let me call my cousin up. I called him up. I said, "Yo, dude want to sell this property for 25. And he said, "Well, how much you want?" And all I had in my mind, like I said, what would I want to make every month? I said 5,000. He said, "So 30,000. What's the condition of it?" I said, "I ain't see it yet." So we go check out the property. They got when people die or murder themselves in the house, they put like this white stuff around. And literally on the floor, you see the white powder up the steps where they powdered the house out. I was just like, oh man, house was in good condition. Grandma house, as we call it in the industry, basically just needed upgrades, the kitchen, the bathroom. And he got the property. He bought it from me. He wrote me a check outside of everything. Now, you're not supposed to do this as a real estate agent. You're supposed to run everything to your office. But, at that time, I was just like, man, I'm about to make $5,000. I think it was like we ordered title. 30 days later, we went to settlement. I got a check for $5,000. And I said, man, this is nice. Like, wait a minute. And here's what I did. I asked Drew. I said, "Drew, would you buy properties from me?" He said, "Yeah, dummy. Like, what are you talking about?" And I'm now at UPS. And then I start telling people like, "Yo, I'll buy properties." And that was like, and I start selling Drew, which he sold me, which was retarded. 239 East Haines. Literally, I got 239 East Haines for $19,000. I think I sold it to Drew for 24. 5,000 was my number. Everything was add 5 to it.
Right.
And then added 5,000 to it, sold it to Drew, and then I bought it back from Drew for like $65,000 or $60,000 after he did some work to it. And it was so stupid because I had the property at like $16,000. And over the time, I started building up my list of people who bought properties cash, because what I realized was retail clients are cool. I mean, people say, "Oh, I want to be an investor." They'll buy one house from you, but you're going to show them 1 million homes. But a real investor, someone who buys cash properties for cash, is going to buy that's his livelihood. So he's going to buy every 3 months, every 4 months. It used to take less than 2 weeks to get your permits back.
Right.
But now it's probably 30 days or longer. But you're going to look at a rehab time of 4 to 3 months, depending on the size of the property. And what I started to do was look for cash buyers, and I started building my cash buyers list. And it's called, at that time, guy turned it reverse wholesaling, as he called it, finding where buyers buy, and then finding the property to fit their criteria. Normal wholesalers look for a seller first and then look for a buyer. Now, my way is I got a buyer, I know I can dispose the property. So what I start doing was going to networking events and start networking with other like-minded individuals and saying, hey, I got buyers, you got any properties, send it my way. So every time I would go speak, I would say, yo, you got any deals? I'll buy it. And literally at one of the events we did in Tang down Center City, one of the guys was in the audience, came to me afterwards and said, look, I got a property on Woodlawn Avenue. The lady wants 50. I said, see if you can get it for 25. We went, looked at the property. He got it for 25. I think I sold it for 41. I put him a check in his hand for $8,000. And he came to the event. I think it was the second time coming to the event. And he was like, yo, this made it so real. Typically, you're going to pay somebody as a bird dog $1,000 or less, $1,000 to $2,000. But at the time, I always tell people, like, for me, I want everybody to win. I don't want just me to get a check. I want you to get a check that you can say, you know what, I could do this. And belief is the best thing. When you get that first check, it creates that belief. Just like when I met Sean, and he was telling me about he wants to get into real estate and he doesn't want to work a job anymore. And I had used to do a video every Sunday while I was down in Rittenhouse Square, just telling people like, yo, it was possible. Because my surrounding network did not believe it was possible. And I used to tell people like, yo, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn real estate. They'd be like, nah, it's too risky. Yo, I'm gonna learn this. Nah, it's too risky. But I didn't realize is their fear that they were putting on me. Nothing was wrong with me trying to learn something new or try to better myself. It was them having their own insecurities because what they were taught by their parents or what they were taught by their environment. And mindset is the biggest thing you have to conquer. So every morning for the last 4 years, I posted in our Better Than Success group a YouTube thing about mindset, about believing yourself, understanding that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be perfect. You can call Evan up and say, Evan, I got a deal. What should I do with it? Because it's in Montgomery County or it's in the county, and you don't really deal with people in the county. Now, I mean, let's keep it 100. You know what I mean? If someone's in the county and I show up and I say my name's Jabbar, that might be a problem. But I'll call Evan, like, Evan, I got a deal in the county. This will suit you well. They want $400,000 for it. Go negotiate it. You know what I mean? Create partnerships. And don't be afraid to fail because you can lean on Evan and say, Evan, you know what I mean? Let's work together to split the fees. And what I've done, I have a list probably of, 3,000, 4,000 business cards that I've collected. Yeah. I want to get 10 things, but I have a list of only about 10 real buyers who buy every 30 days. They buy properties. As soon as their people start working on the property, they go to the next property or they're looking for the next property. And you need to have your leads, your pipeline filled up with leads, whether it's buyer leads, seller leads, other wholesalers, and you want to build on that and then keep the connection going. Most people get a text message from me every morning, every other morning, a call. I like calling people just to see how they're doing. And I mean, I like building those kind of relationships. And if you're not a good person, don't bother me. Don't call me. If you're just about the money, I don't want to deal with you because it's kind of like anything else in any business. Who do you want to get in bed with? You want to get in bed with the greedy person that as soon as they can get you, they get you. Like I was in bed with somebody, we moved 4 or 5 properties a month. But every time I got a check, he'd be like, yo, I need half. And I'm like, yo, I got to pay taxes on this money. And he'd say, oh man, I did this. And I'm like, yo, I got at the end of the year, I got a tax bill that I got to take care of, which I didn't think about until I got a tax bill for $149,000. And when that bill hit me, I was like, oh, taxes on wholesaling? But it's the income you make, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know, no one taught me about paying taxes on, being a business owner and how to file a property. I was used to being an employee. And then once you start to realize the business side of it and how you want to be around people to say, look, you're going to have to pay your taxes. I got to pay my taxes. Let's do this as a check. I got to write it to a company. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I have a bunch of different companies. Go form one. It's $295 or $300 or $400. Or if you go to pa.org, you can go and start a business for $149. Open up in a bank account, put $500 in there, whatever your earnest deposit is, because when you're doing wholesaling, you got to leave a check, whether it's $100, whether it's $1,000. Now, some people try to tell you don't have to put any money on the property. You have to put something on the property to make it a legal binding contract. You're buying the paper, but you need to put something on it. So even if it's $1, you know what I mean? I had a deal where somebody was buying a property. That guy named CJ. He's been doing wholesaling for a while, and he was bragging to me how he locked up a $400,000 property and he put no money on it. But guess what happened? The title company they was working with, they had a buyer there doing a settlement. They were on the phone with him talking about it. They said, what's your earnest deposit? He said, I didn't put an earnest deposit down. That buyer found the property and bought the property from the seller. He gave the seller $1,000 that deposit, And CJ was mad. I said, what you mad about? That's a lesson you learned. And I mean, he lost like 25 grand. And I told him when it was a $25,000 wholesale fee, I said, yo, you should go put money on it. He said, man, I drank with the seller, smoked weed with him. We good. And I'm like, that is not how business works. Like, you know what I mean? And people do that where they take how they do business and think it's going to work with someone else. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? You got to do things the right way. Learn the fundamentals. Come to these groups, ask questions, and then make sure that you're doing the right steps. Now, when you get like me, I've done contracts with just a handshake with other wholesalers, but with sellers or with people that have other people influence them, I already know I have to protect myself with that contract. In a wholesale contract, usually you need two pieces of paper, your wholesale contract and your agreement to sell. Well, your agreement to sell, then your wholesale contract. But go ahead, Elijah. I don't want to take up too much time.
No, you're good. I got a few more minutes here with you. So first and foremost, I want to hit on a few gold nuggets that I kind of got. So first and foremost, right? So you were a realtor originally.
Correct.
Right? You were a realtor that then you got a phone call one day and the guy was like, I want to sell. And he was like, well, how much? I can't believe he asked on the spot, like, how much will you give me cash? And what I admire the most is that you took that time and you're like, oh, well, I don't know. Let me figure it out though. You know, you didn't know, but you said, hey, let me figure it out, which is a super powerful thing because it's like you can agree now and you can figure the rest out later. Because if you don't agree now, guess what? Just like your boy who, you know, didn't put down the nurse money deposit, you're going to miss out on the opportunity. So I think that was awesome. The second thing was that your relationship with that buyer who was buying a tremendous amount of properties, why do you like, did he help guide you at all in terms of the beginning, or is he just like, find me anything, we'll go and meet, and I'll walk through it and give you an offer on the spot?
Yeah, he was old school. Drew would just have meetings about how to be a realtor. But one thing he did teach me was he's like, look, just go for it. You know what I mean? Because he was from, I want to say Frankfurt or something like that. And he just constantly went for it. And he just said, watch what I do. You'll figure it out. But he wasn't more like a typical mentor as more as watch my actions.
Right.
And because he'd be like, you need mortgage brokers. He'd go in his drawer and throw a bunch of cards at you, find somebody who will approve you. I'm like, what the hell? And I think what I've learned is I say yes first, and then I figure shit out. Like, I don't play someone says, Jabbar, I got a $10 million property. Can you sell it? Yes. I don't. And that's happened to me. Someone gave me a property for downtown on Walnut Street. And they were like, yo, we want, I think they said $7 million for it. I got them an offer for $7 million. They said, wait a minute, that was too quick. And I was like, ow. You know, I was looking at the little 2% or 1% I was going to get. But, you know, a lot of times I've realized is that if you say no, then you're saying no to the opportunity. If someone right now said, hey, I got the winning lottery ticket, and all three of you guys said, no, I'm saying yes, I'll be right there at your house to go play it. Because what if it is the winning lottery ticket? What if the person is on crutches, they can't walk, but they got the winning lottery ticket, they had a dream, and I go play the ticket, I get half of the $300 million. You know what I mean? And that's always been my key is even if someone says, hey, I need to go put a lockbox on the door. A lot of the wholesalers call me. I'll take pictures. Most of you guys suck at taking pictures of properties. From realtors down, they take 4 pictures and tell me we want $300,000 for the house. And you're like, what? It's 4 pictures. They don't take pictures of the hot water tank, the furnace, the electrical, the back wall, windows, bathroom, kitchen. Right. They just take a small ass picture of the living room and say, man, it's a great deal. That's not how that works. Especially you got to have, most of my Dropbox pictures are 32 plus pictures. It's free. I don't know why people act like it's in a rush. It's free. And I take 3 videos, a video of the first floor, second floor. If I can, I get a video of the hot water tank, because you can now take those pictures in that Dropbox, which is free, or Google, and send it to your contractor who you want to work with. He'll give you a number and say, hey, I think it's going to cost $40,000 to do the rehab on this property. Then you can take that number to the number that you do and follow the 65 rule, which means the 65% of the value. So if it's worth $100,000, you're trying to get it under 65, and that includes the rehab, includes your fee, and then that's how you make your money in wholesaling. But
yeah, man,
the key is being open to the possibilities. You know what I mean? The reason why I did all those videos down Rittenhouse Square, because all the people who told me you talk too much, everybody who's called me Jabberjaws. It was funny to me because they still have jobs. They still have a boss they had to ask and they get vacations. They still have a boss who tells them, no, you can't go anywhere. They still get fired. You can't fire me. You know what I mean? Because I'm unhireable. You know what I mean? But I work with everybody. I build relationships and teamwork. I think that's the key to my success and the key to most people's businesses is that you have to find someone to replace you so you can leverage to grow the company bigger. If Evan wants to get to the next level, he has to find another Evan. If Sean wants to get to the next level, he got to find maybe a buyer guy who works with buyers for him. And then he hires someone who then works with sellers so he can keep investing back into his business and growing. And you can't grow if you're a single man. I'm a single person. Like, I don't have a big team. I have the group, but I really do this on my own and I'm stable. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about bills as much, but if I wanted to grow to the next level, I'd have to create another Jabbar and then trust someone I can trust who can then go out, talk to sellers for me, take the pictures, and then I can then sit back and look at more deals.
Well, Jabbar, I must say, I love your jaws. I think they're amazing, man. All right. Jabbar, thank you for that. Awesome first deal. So, Evan, you've been in the game for a while as well, man. Back in 2007, at the tip of the last real estate market, right, is when you kind of went full force into this, right?
Correct.
So tell me kind of about, one of your first deals. Like, how'd you find the seller? How'd you make a connection with them? Did you do any marketing? Did you go under contract? How'd you go under contract? And how'd you end up selling it?
I didn't do any wholesaling from 2007 to 10. I was just like buying and holding, doing the birth thing. So
you guys, the first wholesale deal.
First wholesale deal I did was I don't know, I guess 2016. I was working with other guys who were wholesaling. I just kind of like fell into this crew that was doing deals at the time, and we all knew each other and we all clicked at the time, and we just they already had like a, kind of an established business, and I was just kind of lucky enough to kind of tag along and learn the game. I don't really want to bore everybody with like some kind of like, I really don't even remember the first deal. I remember the first deal that I made. All I did was schedule the appointment. I scheduled the appointment. The acquisitions manager went out there. He closed the deal. 3 months later, I got a check for $3,200. That was my first deal. And I was like, oh shit, that's more than I'm making most of the time, So that's bigger than most of my other paychecks. And then that was after 3 months. And then after like 6 months, I was making like close to like 20 grand a month. And I'm like, this is time to quit now. So that was when I walked into the office and quit my job and never looked back. So I was pretty happy with that.
So that you were working for like a wholesaling company?
Yes.
Oh wow! So you were working for a wholesaling company, so you got to see a lot of like the behind the scenes, the in-house stuff. So is that kind of how you got education in a way?
Yes. First, that's pretty much how I learned. I just learned on the job. I mean, I already had a sales background.
Right.
I knew that I wanted, and I had a little bit of, I had that I call it the failed real estate background, but I still knew like a lot. I mean, I still had like I read a ton of books. I knew a lot of people that were in real estate. I knew people that were, very successful in real estate, and I knew that I wanted to get back into it. So it was just, these guys were already doing wholesaling, and I was just like, hey, you want to schedule appointments and I'll give you a piece of the deal? And I'm like, yeah. And then like eventually it was like, okay, you're going to go run appointments now. I'm like, okay, great. And they're like, now you're going to go run appointments and find buyers for it. I'm like, okay, great. And then like after a certain period of time, it's like, all right, I kind of know how to do this.
Right.
So.
So when you guys were in the office, were you guys using scripts or was it just kind of free will, like just a normal conversation? How were you guys handling the leads that were being generated when you were at that office?
So we didn't have a specific script, but the company that I worked for, which was not wholesaling, it was an in-home sales company. So we were trained with scripts. So I was very script conscious, I'll say. So, I mean, I made up my own scripts, and I pretty much say the same thing, every single time I deal with the seller. Even now, I have a script. Eventually, I ended up writing it out and using that. But I think a script is very important. I think you should. I mean, if you're dealing with the same thing day in and day out, and you should use a script. You shouldn't just kind of like fly by the seat.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask, like what would you say is like one of the biggest benefits to having a script versus having like, or you yourself just being like, in the moment and just having a normal conversation? What do you think the biggest difference is?
I mean, so there's different things. So like in sales, like what Sean was saying earlier, how like he connected with this guy. So it like there's no like necessarily a script for that, but the key is to build rapport with somebody. So people do business with those who they know, like, and trust. So the way that you do that is you build rapport with somebody. Make sure you write that down, right? So or whatever question you're writing down. So you don't have to necessarily have a script for that, but you can use certain cues. You can, hey, how you making out today? What I catch you doing? Where you from? What do you like to do for work? What do you do for work? What do you like to do for fun? Where are you from around here? Just like basic things to kind of like, and then it's like, oh, you walk into the house and you say, oh, I see you have ceramic bunnies. I love ceramic bunnies. My grandma had those, and then you kind of get into it. But then for the actual, like, what your situation is, you really want to like dig deep and have like a set of questions. It's kind of like, if you're playing football or you're playing basketball, you have a play. They don't just go out there and like do like, hey, I'm going to hike the ball and you just go run whatever direction you're going to run. They actually have like plays that they rehearse.
Right.
Same thing for sales. If you're dealing with buyers or you're dealing with sellers, you should have a script that you're using.
Yeah, I love that. The script in a way feels like sets the tone, and you have certain things that you're trying to identify, such as I don't know, like so for you, right? When you are doing lead generation, like what are some of the motivation pieces that you look for?
So I always say I'm not interested in motivated sellers. I'm interested in distressed sellers. So I want to find out what their legitimate distress is. And so no one will ever give you the reason when you first ask them. It's like something. I actually just made a video about this. So it was something to the extent of like, why do you want to sell the house? It's like, well, I can't really handle it anymore. Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't mean. I mean, it can mean a lot of things, but it doesn't really give you much. So you want to ask further questions like, oh, really? Tell me about that. Like, what can't you handle? You can't handle the steps. You can't handle the back taxes. You can't handle the repairs on the property. Like what's going on? And you don't necessarily have to get too deep into the first or second question because again, they're not going to tell you. But it's like once you get to like the third or fourth level of questions, that's when people will typically start to open up, and they will only open up if they know, like, and trust you. And even if they, even if you're a stranger or something, if they just feel comfortable with you, then they'll tell you what their situation is.
Yeah, that's a huge key point. Okay. And then so with your first wholesale deal, so I know you were kind of working with a company and stuff, but when you were at that company, were you also making connections with like other buyers? Like how'd you run into your first couple buyers?
Yeah, we had like a couple pocket buyers. So these are people that they're like your go-to, like Jabbar says, he's got 10 of them, right? I have a couple of them too. I wish I had 10. I only have I probably have like less than 5, but those are the like people that buy houses on a consistent basis. They're the ones who do real estate professionally. They don't typically use hard money. They have either their own money or private money or like a partner that they work with, and they can close. And they can close like on either sometimes sight unseen or on like limited circumstances. Like there was this one time where I went out. I had one time to show this house, right? The guy's like, I'm going to let you in there one time. I'm like, can I bring my contract? He's like, yeah. And so, there's a security, like normally you get a key for the door for the house, especially if it's vacant, you think showing should be easy. But if like you're dealing with a realtor and it's like a probate deal and like, there's no way I'm not going to be able to, get this thing under contract and then list it and then like not have problems from that. So I just, I had a pocket buyer come out and he's like, yeah, I'll take it. So
right on the spot.
went off on a tangent on that one.
So do you feel, like the pocket buyers, do you feel like they buy at a specific price, which is why they can do like they know the numbers already? Or like what do you think separates them from like someone who's, maybe has a few properties or is brand new?
Well, they're a professional. So, I mean, this is what they do for a living. I have a couple guys that this is all they do. They own a bunch of rental properties. They have a couple different strategies. Some of them are buy and hold. Some of them are buy and flip. So those are the ones they should know their numbers. They know that they already know the values in the area. They probably run their comps before they came out to the property. They already know what their construction costs are. They have crews that they work with. They know if they're going to buy and flip it. They know if they're going to buy and hold it. They know what the rent values are in the area. The deal analysis is so important. This is why you always see cash buyers complaining about wholesalers getting something under contract for way too high, or like trying to sell something for way too high. It's because they don't have the negotiation skills or the sales skills to get the property under contract for a reasonable price, and then they're trying to sell something that's way too high a lot of times.
Yeah, man, that definitely makes a lot of sense. It's like, so for someone who's brand new to the wholesaling
Did
space.
Elijah freeze again?
No, I'm here. You good? Everything's good? All right, so for someone who's
Testing
new,
1, 2.
we can hear you.
Evan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Elijah froze? Dude, you froze. Like, did you get nervous?
Yeah, I got very nervous. We've been rolling, dude. So Evan, for someone who's brand new, right? The wholesaling space.
That was like a minute freeze, dude.
I think you're freezing, dude, because we're all on the same page over here. Anyway, Evan, someone who's like brand new to the wholesaling space, like if I wanted to connect with like one of those super experienced, super professional buyers, like how would you recommend that like I start that conversation with them, especially like when I'm brand new and I really don't know how to analyze? Maybe I have like a direct mail marketing campaign out, or I knocked on some doors, or I have just a little bit of marketing. How would you recommend building that relationship in the beginning?
I mean, I would say go to events, but you can't really go to events anymore.
Well, we got this event here, the online one,
Yeah, I mean, you can post stuff. Hey, I'm looking for cash buyers. You can call them and interview them. You can, try and build the buyers list. I mean, it's going to take some time. It's kind of like you really want to find out. You can look at the cash comps in the area and look who bought properties, and send them a mailer, and say, hey, I find off-market properties. I'd like to put you on my buyers list. Please give me a call or shoot me, text me your email address, or sign up here. Give them the web address. It's really easy to connect with people like online. If it's an LLC, it's a little bit different, but you can still send them a piece of mail. So, there's a lot of different ways to do that. It's going to take some time and effort. It's really just like, sometimes it just takes time. I don't really think you're going to find like these, necessarily a buyer like just is going to fall in your lap. Like you might have to be into this thing for like 6 months to a year before you kind of really understand how the whole thing even works, like how wholesaling works and how, how certain you're going to think, yeah, this guy's a cash buyer, but then he's like, he can't even get approved for a hard money loan.
Exactly. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of experience, dealing with those kind of people. All right,
other wholesalers acting buyers.
Right. I'm hitting on a few gold nuggets here that I got, and then we're going to go transition and figure out what's really working today. So first and foremost with Evan, I think one of the key points is like the know, like, and trust, right? Because we're in the business of generating leads and converting those leads. And the only way we can convert them is if they know, like us, and trust us that we can get the job done. And he kind of hit on a few of those ways to do that, which is when you're walking through the house or you're meeting with the seller, be observative and look around and see something that maybe calls to you, whether it was the flower or the cacti or the cat, whatever, right? Because that is like a good way to really establish some sort of commonality. I think that's super powerful. The second thing is like the idea of a pocket buyer. He literally gave us step-by-step how you can find pocket buyers. And that is looking on the multiple listing service, which is what realtors have access to, or finding out where these guys are buying. And you can, in essence, trace them and send them a mailer, which means, you send them a mail piece, ask them if they want to buy more properties in the area. I think that's a killer strategy if you're brand new and you're wanting to find people who are actually buying. Nick, anything to add? You just hopped on?
Yeah. No, I was just saying. Hey, quick question, Evan. Let's say it's an LLC. Do you have any tricks on how to figure out who the owners are?
Not really. I don't. You'd have to send them a piece of mail. Probably the best thing, because you could look up their address on public record.
Right.
you can send them a piece of mail.
Okay.
I
And
did it the other day if you want to know.
What happened?
I did it the other day if you want to know, on a deal that's like $650. So I drive for dollars. If most people don't know, if you check me out my lives, I go around, and we were at a property, and I have this realtor who sent me. She's like, "Yeah, I really want to know this this property and who owns it." I'm like, "What?" I said, "It's on an LLC." And then I was like, "You know what? This would probably be." She couldn't find the owner, so what I did was, the property was created in Texas, and they let the founding members, be known. So if it's not LA, Las Vegas, Wyoming, or Delaware, the members of the LLC are public record. So it was in Texas. I Googled it. And then what happened was, I went to People Finder, put the LLC into People Finder, and then the people, a part of the LLC, popped up. So I called the one lady, she didn't answer. And then I called the other guy, and he was in Philly, and he answered. So if you're not afraid to call people, you just take the LLC, put in People Finder, or skip trace it. And if there's a public company, it's public knowledge.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, New Jersey, it's not public, but you could file like paperwork. I think it's like $25 to get the names, but then it's like that just gets you the names, and then from there you got to skip trace them and all that stuff too. I just wanted to ask to see if there was like a cheaper way to do it. You know what I mean?
No, but that's the thing that helps give you an advantage as a wholesaler. Someone who's doing
100%.
it, because most people who do like prop stream or look for leads, they put the LLCs to the side and they give up. You know what I mean? They look for the easier ones where they're not spending $25 for the skip trace.
Right. So I think the one point I want to highlight that Evan said was he only has five like hardcore buyers that consistently buy, but you're running like, you know, a big business or a successful business with just 5 hardcore buyers. And I think somebody said it. I don't know who it was, but someone said that they have like a mailing list of like thousands of people, but there's only like 10 buyers. I think it was Jabbar.
Yes.
Right? He's only 10 hardcore buyers. That tells you like a lot about the business, because it's not about the size of the list that you have. It's about who's actually those people, and do you know them or not? And that's really it. And I'm pretty sure those 5 that Evan has overlaps with the 10 Jabbar has in some way or another. Like, you know, if not 100%.
Why don't we compare? Jabbar, hit me up afterwards. You share your 10, I'll share my 5.
That's the list that we all want to be a part of. Okay.
Oh man, listen, if you really do it right, there's the one buyer I have. You could call him right now, and he will not do business with you without saying, "We'll send the information to Jabbar first."
That's awesome. Man.
I mean, no matter what you do, you know what I mean, but it's cool because when you build that rapport with somebody, the basing is trust. They'll say, "Well, you go look at the property first. Let me know if it's a good deal," and then that's what I do, because that's the part of customer service that over the years I've learned. Because I'm not going to go lie to them and tell them that there's a brand new heating system in the basement and there's not. You know what I mean? Because I want them to do consistent business. And if you do it really, really good, what happens is when they finish doing the work on the property and it sells for more than they think, they send you another check. You know, he always says that I'm always double dipping. I'm like, I'm not double dipping. I got the price that you needed to get it at. You sold it for more money than you thought. And you gave me an extra $1,000 or $2,000 in the back end. That's perfect. You know what I mean? That's how business should be. But that's part of your customer service and concierge service, I say. I was the concierge, where when you go to certain companies or you do business with certain people, they give an extra level of it's not just a transaction to me. What I look at it is everybody that I talk to or in my phone, it's more of a relationship, and we're building a bigger business down the line. So that when we come together and we want to buy an apartment building for $100 million, I can call Evan and say, "Evan, I need $100 grand. Elijah, I need 50,000 from you. Sean, just look good and work out in front of me." You know what I mean? And get you people to come rent the rooms out for us. And Nick, just do you and send out an email blast saying, "Hey, we got an apartment." But that's what you want to build, be long-term in this business. Because in a down market, when everybody's not doing deals, guess what? My buyers are like, "Jabbar, are you good?" And if I'm not good, they be like, "Look, I'm gonna send you some money for future, wholesale fees at a discount, and I got to worry about it," because I keep it real. It's, like I said, 3 months, 4 months. I think I've done 4 or 5 deals, but it wasn't like I was doing before Corona, crushing it, because I was like, "Oh, deals left and right." But now it's like, "Oh man, title problems, issues, cities closed down. But we still moving, you know what I mean, moving and shaking because I created that nice relationship with buyers where I didn't bang them over the head for $20,000 or 10 grand. They might be like, yo, bro, I can pay you this. You cool with that? And I'll pay you some money in the back. And I'm like, look, let's just close. You know what I mean? The sellers, if another wholesaler bring me a deal and y'all need the money, y'all tell me like, yo, bro, I need to make $5,000 or $6,000 this month. Can we close it? I'll tell you the number I can close it at. Yo, I can close it this number. You probably can get more for someone else, but I know my buyer will close in a week. We did a property in Duncannon Street. They showed it to me on a Tuesday. We closed on it next Tuesday, and they needed to really close. And I said, look, my buyer will pay this for it. So I just think that, you know, bringing that extra value to buyers will create that relationship that you can send them a deal and they'll say, hey, what do you think about it? I think it's a good deal, and they'll close on it.
Yeah, man, that's great. All right, we're gonna transition here to rapid fire. I want to know kind of what business is like today. We are literally in the after hours of quarantine, the Corona situation. I want to know. We'll start with Sean. Sean, what's business like for you today? Generating leads? Are you finding it harder to put deals under contract today versus pre-COVID? Tell me about that.
You know what? For me, I'm really old school. I like to actually door knock. So I'm all about grassroots and being in the community. And, you know, I like to think that I represent myself in a way where you don't need a lot of technology and really basically nothing. Anybody could do it, you know, anybody could wholesale. But I guess with the times changing, door knocking has literally gone out the window. You know, ain't nobody gonna answer the door for you. So for me, I've been doing it in a different way. And I just been going straight to Facebook and connecting that way. Pretty much just straightforward with new wholesalers that are trying to get in, veteran wholesalers like, you know, Jabbar and Evan. And I'm still connecting with buyers. A lot of buyers are still asking me for things. So, you know, I can't really go out and search for what they got. But like Jabbar says, I can go out and see what is out there already in place as far as a contract and see if I can just connect the dots and service the wholesaler, service the buyer, you know, in all actuality, help the seller move forward. And it's been successful for me because you know, I haven't been able to do what I've done before, but I have been able to really maintain myself during this quarantine through just Facebook, to be honest with you. That's been my main thing.
So are you doing Facebook ads? Or are you like searching people's names and adding them like friend requests? Like, because I see your friend requests is going up, dude.
Yeah,
I want to know how you're
going
friends.
into, like groups of, you know, anything wholesaling, PA real estate, Philly real estate, anything along them lines. And if anybody is posting anything that they have, you know, I'll reach out to them. One, to screen them to see if it actually is theirs. Two, I also introduce myself because I'm not sure if you guys know, but I also work part of a title company. So being part of a title company, shout out to Heidi Becker. I have the inside knowledge of detail on how things work. So a lot of times I ask somebody if they have something for sale, is your contract with title right now? If they say yes, is it clear? You know, if it's not, I get to go in and kind of educate and push them forward to getting it clear. Right. And then also ask them, do you have a buyer? Oh, well, if you don't have a buyer, do you think I could show it to some of mine? And then I guess if it's been on a post for X amount of days or weeks, they're at a point where they are desperate to find a buyer or else they're going to lose a deal. A lot of times, if it's in the early stages of them just getting a contract, hey, do you have a title company yet? Sometimes I'm going to say above 60%. No, I don't have title yet. Oh, right. Well, you know, I work for a title company. Feel free to use mine, you know, and push it that way. And then what I'll do is like, hey, Elijah, I know you just, I submitted your title 2 weeks ago. You find a buyer yet? Oh, you didn't find one yet, Elijah? Well, Elijah, you're about to lose this contract in 2 weeks. Oh, man. Well, what are you going to do?
I need you, Sean. I need you.
Hey, Elijah, you know, look, this is what I could do. Let me hit some of my buyers up, and, you know, and then and see what I could do to see if they like it. What is it that you really wanted at? But really, to be honest, I already know what your contract is at because I helped you run the title, you know? But that's only if it's in the beginning. But if it's in the end and you're not with my title, hey, Elijah, how much are you have your contract at? Be transparent with me so I can help you with that. Oh, you have it for 50. Okay, so what are you trying to get? I'm trying to get 60. All right, let me see what I can do. I'll do my best, you know? And then because I asked for that opportunity and they said yes to it, I'm just hustling after that. After that, yo, Bar, Evan, yo, I got this deal. I found somebody. Yo, you guys have a client over here. I got the Dropbox. I'm sending, you know, so it's just like, I'm just servicing. I'm connecting the dots for people. You know, it's going to happen because I know that. Well, I'm not saying I don't know that, but I'm sure that people aren't connecting the way I am. You know, the way I'm finding little things that I could pop out, because if I'm about to message you, prior to messaging you, I'm looking at your Facebook. You know, I'm scoping you out, seeing what, if you have a car, yo, that Cadillac, yo, I'm looking for a, like Evan said, it's just something that you find just to start it off. And after that, you just kind of engage.
I love it. Guys, by the way, if you guys have questions, definitely put them in the comment section. We're going to be pulling up and asking all your, come on, dude. Nick Brody, you don't think my V-neck is deep enough? This is not a V-neck, buddy. Anyway, we're going to be pulling up all your questions at the very end. We'll be getting all those answered. So, Sean, you said that you work at a title company, right? Through this title company, you also offer this service when you're reaching out. So you're not just reaching out for the purpose of, hey, I want to buy your property. You're reaching out for the purpose of, hey, you know, you're already in, first of all, you're targeting people that are already maybe wholesaling or have deals, right? And then from there, you're reaching out for kind of two things, which is one, are you in title? Are you running title? And if so, where are you at in the process? Is it under contract? And if it's not, I can do that. And why is it acting like that? And if it's not, I can do that. And then number two is, well, it's not in a contract, so why haven't you found a buyer yet? Because I can do that as well. I think being able to have both of those services is like a super like killer thing. That's my gold nugget for you.
Yeah, and to be honest, I learned a lot of people don't really have education in title, you know. So I guess for me, I bring a lot of value in that aspect, because when I do see their title or whatever the situation is, I can direct them to a solution that can push the title forward to getting clear, you know. A lot of times I do see that is the biggest delay in getting the closing, is clearing the title, because people lack the necessary action steps to do so, you know. And a lot of times, to be honest, you can't really get that from a title company. Like if you were to call them and say, hey, can you educate me on this? To be honest, they really can't sit there and educate you, because how are they going to do the work then, you know? And I see it a lot that wholesalers will come in and want to learn literally how to clear title. And I'm trying to refocus them on like, hey, I can give you a one-on-one lesson on what that looks like, or we can let them do their job and you go focus on finding another contract. How about that?
By the way, I can show you how to make some money with that, like a lot of money. Talk to me later.
All right. By the way, I'm interested.
Get money.
Because I had to learn it. I had to learn it once I got into tax deeds, and I had to learn how to clean title. And talk to me about it after.
Yeah.
Get money. Wow, I never knew what happens on these live.
Look at that. Business is happening on the live webinars, baby. I'm so excited. I love it. I love it. All right.
That I wanted to say I'm really proud of is I have a few students now, you know, and I'm really happy with their results, because they're doing exactly what I'm doing, you know. And they came to me, they didn't have the most confidence, but you know, they did have a big desire to learn, and they're coachable. And because they're coachable, they're pretty much open-minded. And you know, some of them went and bought wholesales, some went and bought rentals, some did a few wholesales, and you know, one recently just got her first lead. And you know, I'm just beyond proud of their progress. And that's what I learned, is that it's consistent progress that will eventually become consistent results, you know. So that's another thing that I've been doing as well, is focusing on the people that actually have that desire and drive, and assist them and push them to actually getting things done. And what I do is I give them 5 things, you know. It's mailers, cold calling, you know, you guys kind of know the simple strategies, right? And I say, look, they all work, but I tell them, I was like, what can you do now out of these that is really comfortable for you? You know, what are you good at right now, and apply it to one of these. Don't try to learn nothing new. I was like, I'm trying to get you a result right now so that you feel that it works, so you can keep going. If you try to learn something brand new, like if you don't have money, don't do mailers. That means you're going to try to go work, get 500 to 1,000, save it up, and then send out mailers. But the result of that is, you know, you guys know consistency in sending out mailers, that he may not see a result in 3 to 5 months, and then he may say, hey, Sean, you know, I'm broke. I didn't get no results. It's taking forever. And I'm like, well, you know, you maybe shouldn't have taken that route. I told you, let's do something that you're easy doing now, because your job is cold calling. Why don't you cold call this list? You know, let me teach you with that. So I think that's some of the success I've been having as well, is focusing on the people.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Yeah, anybody who's interested in, you know, learning more Sean, definitely connect with him on Facebook. They're going to give us their info at the end, by the way. Okay. So let's go here to Jabbar. Jabbar, we got literally like 5, 6, 7 minutes. 5 minutes at the max, Jabbar. Okay. Jabbar, tell me about business today. You know, we're after we're still in COVID and all that still going on. So tell me, what's the landscape look like with your wholesaling business today?
Well, right now it's back open where I'm still looking at properties. I've been looking at properties even during COVID. The only issue now is with, which I think I was actually looking up, probate leads is going to be a big thing. You have 100 and some thousand people have passed away. The next 3 to 4 months, all those people are going to start selling their homes. But the problem is the city is shut down on that side of it. So it's like you have this huge network of people to reach out to help them with a situation. And what I've had to turn to is, which I tell people all the time, is you got to be a hustler and think outside the box. To get new buyers and create more buzz. I was at a tile place, kitchen and bath place.
Yeah.
Pushing to other builders and wholesalers about kitchens and tiles and bathrooms. Why? Because it's just like anything else. If you're in the room with the people that you want to do business with, you have to have something to attract them to you. And I'm like, yo, I got the hookup on this granite. Oh, you need tile 24 by 24? Oh, I'll get you the whole slab for $6. But you normally pay $12, because now the deals they can't work on, they're going to give to me that have free and clear title, which just happened this morning. I was doing a live. I was at the tile place and kitchen and bath place, and a guy hit me up and said, Jabbar, I got this triplex in West Philly, 130 or best offer. Here's the pictures. Here's the lot box. Can you sell it for me? Because I'm busy he's working on a project. He's not going to be able to get to it. And then someone emailed me, called me up and said, yo, Bar, I got another property for you. I seen you on Facebook. I need some tile work done. Can you help me move this property in the Northeast for $57,000? And the comps are 180, 170. And you got to be top of mind, and you can't just keep repeating the same shit over and over again. A lot of people get on Facebook and they stiff and they're just like, I buy houses. Call me. Everybody buys houses. Call me. But if I can now say, yo, Sean, the next project you do, you need hardwood floors. I got them at $1.68 a foot. Now you're going to call me, and while we're in the room where I can deliver out the hardwood floors, you're going to say, hey, Bar, what deals you got? Or Bar, I got a couple of deals. Can you help me with it? You got to have lead magnets. In network marketing or any internet marketing thing you see on Facebook, online, they're sending you a lead magnet. And as your lead magnet has to be something within your industry, whether it's a free ebook, whether it's a free video, it's something to stop the person and make them think they want to work with you and give them a compelling reason, or what my friend, what's his name, Dagan Smith used to say, an irresistible offer. My irresistible offer to my buyers, to my sellers is, I'm going to solve your problem. I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to create a win-win situation. And during the process, I'm going to hook you up with people that I know that are going to do business with you for a long time coming. So just like with the flooring and tiles, that's something that all developers, builders need. And some sellers, guess what happens when they look at grandma's house? They be like, man, if I could just put a kitchen in there, or get these floors done, or if I can get somebody to give me a price, and you go out and give them a price. Hey, the electrical will run you $7,500 to $10,000 for this 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Do you got $10,000? And they be like, well, no, I don't have $10,000. Well, the plumbing's going to run you about $5,000. The stack pipe's going to cost $1,500. So literally, when I go in, I tell them the truth. I don't make up some numbers and say, oh, it's going to be $10 million to do your house. I tell them the truth. I tell them what the house is worth as is condition. I show them the cash comps in the area, and I show them what the house sold down for street for 200. Yeah, they put about 85,000 into that to get that 200. It didn't just sell for 200,000 because it's on this block, but they dumped this 80,000 into the property. They sat on it for 2 months, and then they got the sale. So they didn't make as much as you thought. But here's what your house needs to get it to the next level. But by being a person of value to sellers and buyers, I'm constantly top of mind for people. Yep. And so I've always learned that over the years, just being more value, helping, being of assistance. And during that time, people send me deals. And just like the triplex, it's in West Philly, it's a free and clear title. Title's clear. The title's already been ordered. So I can close on that. I can give them an offer. Maybe someone says, I'll give you 110. And we work out a percentage of me doing it, finding the buyer, and close on the property. So I'm constantly working on my pipeline and my relationships. And I think that's the biggest thing. And also I know people now I've met that buy hotels, own hotels, buy apartment buildings, because I'm in top of mind. So people refer me to people. And when I meet someone, I don't middleman stuff. I'll go, Evans, here's Dan's phone number. Call, we'll sell them that. So I'm always creating those relationships. I think, and now is more important than ever because people don't want to go look at properties. They'll pay you $75, $50. Say, hey, Bar, can you go take some pictures of this property? We just locked it up today. See if you can sell it to one of your buyers. And I'm like, all right, I'll be there. Put my gloves on, put the mask, everything, and go out and go look at properties. So that's what I've been doing. I mean, same old, but it's more deals haven't been closing because of the fact that the city are closed down. Right now, to close on this deal, we have to escrow like $19,000 for the gas and water bill because, and I had to convince the seller, like, look, the buyer will walk, or you can escrow the money, and then when the city opens back up fully, or these utilities departments release the money, you can get your money later. But don't let a cash buyer at $160,000 walk because you don't want to escrow 20 grand.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I think the irresistible offer is definitely like a gold nugget. It's figuring out what you can add that nobody else can add. And, just speak on that whenever you are involved around the sellers or the buyers or whoever. Jabbar, so would you say the majority of your business today comes from the Facebook Lives? Because you're like a Facebook Live superstar,
Yeah, most of the time, Facebook, Instagram, in the Better Success group. One of the things I tell people, if you're part of a group or a team of people, the opportunities are exponential because now they know, like Evan says, they know, like, and trust you, and they see how other people move you. And books, guys, showing the books. Sean, I got a stack right here, baby. What you talking about? You know what I mean? So I got books on everything. You know what I mean? So I got books on internet marketing right here, Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graji. And mindset, you know what I mean? And most of my deals are coming from being active and visual. And it's free. Facebook is free. I don't understand when people act like you don't pay for Facebook. You don't pay for LinkedIn. You don't pay for Instagram. You don't pay for Twitter. You don't pay for Snapchat. And now people are going to TikTok. Like it's knowing what your budget is. And if you don't have a budget, then you can do everything free. Just be consistent and then be honest and open with people. When I call people up and they got a deal, I'll be like, look, I can probably move this deal at 75,000. I know you want 100, but if you run the 65 rule, especially now in COVID, you have to put 40% down. Hard money lenders are making you put 40% down, 30 to 40% down on properties. So now you can't even say, oh, I got to 7. People used to do 70% rule. Now it's definitely a hard 60, 65% rule on these properties because as a buyer, if you step back and think about your buyer, they have to put down 40%. So on $100,000, they got to put down 40 grand, where before you could put down 15, you could put down 5% or 100% finance. You know what I mean? Because of COVID, people don't know what's going to happen the next 6 months. You know what I mean? So they're making sure that they hedge their bets. Like if you put 40 grand down, I know if the market drops 10 or 20% or something crazy happens, the market usually only drops between 5 and 10%. We're still good to get our money back out the property if we have to sell it to someone else because you failed to complete the project. And that's how you get a lot of deals too. You get a lot of people who go into these properties, they overpay for them, and then they get stuck because now they can't sell it, or the money that they were supposed to put into it, they don't have enough. And that creates opportunities. And I think that's the biggest thing about social media is people can hear my voice, understand how I am. They can look through my timeline. They can go back 8 years. I've been saying the same thing for over 8 years on Facebook. And they can see that Jabbar is consistently looking at properties, doing deals, talking to people, helping people out. I don't have a mentoring program. I don't charge people. You can ask me 1,000,001 questions. I might ignore your call after the first 15 times, but
you'll get back to it.
I'll get back to you. You know what I mean? And I'm always willing to help because when I was growing up, there was only a few people helping. And, that's why these groups like Nick Tang and all of them are so valuable.
Nick,
so are you. Thank you. But go to the next question.
All right.
We're running out of time.
All right. Yeah. So let's go here to Evan. Evan, what's marketing like for you guys today? During with the COVID stuff going on, you find it harder, easier to put deals under contract, to generate the leads? What kind of leads you guys after today?
I mean, I haven't really noticed that big of a change. I think that everyone keeps talking about what's going to happen in the next 8 to 18 months or whatever, 6 months. when all this forbearance stuff comes to an end and people have to pay their mortgage or they don't pay it. I just heard Grant Cardone's podcast. He was saying that like 30 to 40% of mortgages are behind on payments. So either forbearance or they're behind. So, I haven't really noticed an effect quite yet. It's not like deals are like flying in, left and right, but it's a matter of doing the work. It's like, if you put in the work, you'll get deals. The other thing is like, it's so competitive. Like there are so many wholesalers out there. So, I'll hear people like sellers talking about, they're talking to so-and-so. I'm like, oh, I know that guy, So I'm like, I haven't really noticed that big of a difference.
I like it, man. And so what would you say is like, like 1 to 2 like really good marketing strategies today then right now in this time?
Pick 1 or 2 things and be consistent with them and get really good at it. So whether it's cold calling or just posting, like do what Jabbar does, just go on Facebook Live, connect with other people. You could post in Facebook groups. It really does put up bandit signs. I mean, I was coaching a guy. He put up bandit signs. He got like 3 deals and made like 50 grand off bandit signs. So like I thought like bandit signs were like a thing from like 2006 or whatever. Bandit signs still work if you consistently put them up. So it doesn't really matter what you do. It's pick 1 or 2 things that you like. So if you like posting shit on the internet, if you like going on Facebook Live, then do that. If you like cold calling or if you can stand doing that, then do that. If you don't know what to do, just pick one and start doing it. There's a lot of different marketing strategies. You could do billboard ads. You could do, TV and radio ads. If you don't have the budget, that stuff gets expensive. If you don't have the budget for that, pick something that fits your budget and get good at it.
That's a gold nugget right there alone, is focus in, pick one and figure it out. And let me ask you, so you said that you had like 5 buyers that like, are the go-to guys. If you can't sell for a higher price, that they'll always pull the trigger for you. Did you notice during COVID, did they slow down or stop buying at all versus like what they're doing now? So during COVID, did they stop buying at all? And then today, like, are they back to their normal ratios of buying?
I closed a deal with one of them during COVID in April, and then I just did another deal with him today. We didn't go to closing, but we were doing the contract today, and then another one I'm doing a deal with him as soon as the freaking tax certs come back. And it's in Upper Darby, so it takes forever for these tax certs to come back. But I mean, everybody was scared at first. No one knew what was going on. I think it was normal. Like when they started shutting everything down and like there's all this uncertainty. You're running to the store and you're getting toilet paper and all these things. So it's like, everyone's just got to take a deep breath and regroup. And like, is it the end of the world? Is it not the end of the world? Like, but I mean, these guys are, they're professional and they know what they're doing. And they're in this business for the long term and they have a strategy that works. So I don't think that, they're looking to buy. They want to get deals done.
I love it. So even today, they're still like super active. And during COVID, I'm sure there's like a slight pause, but then they went back to active, right?
Yeah. I mean, once you kind of like figure out what's going on and like, okay, this is kind of what I think is going to happen, and this is like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought, or it's whatever, or this is how I can handle the situation. Back
to business, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's we got like about 10, 15 minutes here. Let's you want to go ahead and start pulling up some questions. So guys, listen, if you guys have questions, put them in the comment section. Let us know who specifically your questions or if it's for the whole panel. We're gonna get all your questions answered now. So let's see what we got here.
All right, first question is from Jamie. What do you teach your students, Sean?
60 seconds.
I teach them focus and stability. So what that really means is one of my lessons for them that I sit with them so that they feel this, and I extract from them what it is that they really want. And I spend time with them asking them various questions so that they tell me exactly what it is. Like for one of my students, he said, this is one that made his first wholesale, right? For 8. Now he's in a little bit of a struggle mode of not doing nothing. And I said, what is something that you really want next? Something, an instant result that you would really progress in life, you know? And he couldn't get married because of the quarantine, but he said, I want to go to Paris before the end of the year with my fiance. I was like, all right, that's achievable. What does that look like? I asked him, how much does that cost? How long do you want to stay? Right? He's like, 2 weeks. Where do you want to stay? He's like, I'm a 7-star luxury hotel. I said, go online, search that 7-star luxury hotel, print it out, and feel that. Is that something you really, really want to do? He's like, yeah, I really want to do that. I was like, you may not know it, but that is probably only a $5,000 trip. I was like, if you really want to enjoy a 2-week trip with your fiance, like you say you do, take the necessary steps to actually get that done because you did it already. You know, what did you do the first time that got you a result? Let's do it again. So I teach them focus by having them feel something that they want. When they feel it enough, they'll take the necessary action. A lot of times that I will push people away that I don't want to work with them because if you're not focused, you're going to waste my time, you know, and I don't want to actually waste my time and neither anybody else's time. But yeah, that's what I teach them. I teach them how to focus, really.
So is it motivation, or is it really getting them to be self-motivated because they're not? So are you motivating them, or are you getting them to self-motivate?
I would say I'm motivating them by using something that they're telling me that they want. And I know that they really want it because they sat and put it together on their vision board. And it's something that is really achievable. And I want to work with something that is achievable rather than something that is far-fetched, too optimistic and not realistic. So if on there you want a Lamborghini, that's being optimistic. Yeah, you can get that, but not anytime soon with me. You know, if I don't have one, how can I teach you how to get one? You know, so that's not being realistic. I want something that you actually like. One of my other students, her thing is to take care of $3,500 in debt. I was like, that is literally done. So I said to you, so you're telling me if you made a wholesale 5,000, on your vision board should be a picture of you taking care of this $3,500 debt. I was like, you should print out that $3,500, and then also you holding a check paying that $3,500. I was like, is that what you're telling me, right? And then she said, yeah. The next day, I said, put the board together, and she put together. She has a picture of her with the Louis Vuitton bag, her buying one, you know. And I said, okay, that's more of a want, you know. And I said, this is really what you want because this is what you put up. You didn't. You literally forgot all about your $3,500 that you wanted to pay. And I said, that's fine. That's still fine. If this is what you really want, a Louis Vuitton bag, let me help you get that. You know, I want to get them a result really fast so that they feel motivated, that they know it becomes real for them enough to where like, oh man, all right, let me do this again, Sean. I'm like, hell yeah, go do it again. But this time, let's take care of that debt. Now I'm teaching them. I'm taking it a step further. I'm not teaching them focus because they got a sense of that. I'm teaching them how to get stability so that they can focus on this full time. So.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Let's go to Samantha real quick for her question. Hey, Elijah, read it.
Question for Evan. Evan, what type of sellers do you market to? So I know, Evan, earlier you said that all the strategies work. Are you doing all the strategies? Is like one or two that you're kind of focusing in on right now?
Yeah, also it says on the tax delinquency, how are you marketing direct mail? No, I don't do any direct mail. I haven't done direct mail in over a year. I do SMS.
Reason why not?
Because I mean, I'll go in a seller's house and I'll get like a stack of 40 cards from Sean and Jabbar and whoever else. You know, it's just so competitive. So I do SMS texting to people. So I'll buy lists and I'll skip trace. So yes, I do like to stress like tax delinquencies. Tax delinquencies and probates are like pretty much the best leads. I mean, they're like probably 50% of the stuff that I close are tax delinquencies. So you can get a tax delinquency list from your local county and you can skip trace that list, and then you can cold call them, or you can send them texts. There's a service I use, it's called batch lead stacker, and I don't even know how to do it because I outsourced it to a VA, a virtual assistant, and then these guys send out like 400 texts every day, and then they get a couple responses of people who want to sell their house, and then that's it. And then I call them up from my acquisitions manager. I don't even call them up. My acquisitions manager calls them. I don't like to do anything. I just like to delegate.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We got to have a breakdown of your business one day. We're gonna have to do it. We gotta have to like kidnap you and then like ask you to break down your business for us.
But
here, it'll cost you $1 million, no problem.
That's why the kidnapping.
well, I'm gonna bring the horse, so this way it's a fair kidnap. All right.
So you're gonna be the kidnapper, but okay.
All right. Next question. What we got? Who's next?
From Alan, what do you guys do to have deals come through the pipeline consistently?
Consistent marketing. You have to be on the phone. You have to be at least an hour a day. Like even myself, like I'm on the phone, probably at least an hour a day. And you need to have other people who are, if you're not going to do it, you need to have other people who are going to be on the phone for you. So whether it's calling, texting, door knocking, you need to be out there reaching out to people constantly so that you're omnipresent. So it's like you got to get, and then you also have to do follow-up with people. So it's not like you're just going to, you see the new restaurant that, opens up down the street. Everybody's always there on opening night. But then like after like 2 months, it's like not that busy anymore. So like they have to keep sending out, advertisements, flyers, promotions, posting on their social media site. They have to be in front of people. They have to get to people's email address so that they can continue to, be in front of them. So when you're scrolling, you see that and you think, hey, I'm hungry. I want to go to this place to eat. So it's the same thing with sellers. You gotta, if whatever marketing strategy you're going to do, I'm not saying don't do direct mail. If you do direct mail, don't send out 10,000 of them like blindly. Just to whoever, send it out to maybe 100 probates, and then also do Facebook ad marketing to target those probates, and then do cold calling for those probates, and then do SMS to those probates, and then go knock on their door. So when you hit them with like 4 or 5 different things, and you're right in their face, and then they say no to you the first time, and then or they say yes, come out and take a look at the property, and then you make them an offer, and then they say no. Then you call them back a week later, and then blah, 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 blah. So you got to do like all this stuff. That's how you get deals in the pipeline.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, it definitely does compound. So like if you start today, even 1 hour of calling every day, eventually, like maybe 3 months, them calls come full circle and start to call you back. And you're like, oh, you start to have your own stories. Like, oh, I called this guy my first day. He didn't say nothing. He called me back. It compounds over time, definitely. But it only works and you'll feel it if you constantly keep moving.
And for me, it's put it in the universe. There's a lot of people, secret wholesalers, secret buyers, secret sellers, and they're embarrassed because of whatever. Guess what? You call my cell phone, 267-975-6801. Guess what it says? I help people find deals at discounted prices. I help investors. I help buyers. I help sellers sell their home in 7 days or less. Put that on your phone. Whatever it is, the person you want to work with, put that on your phone message. It's free. Someone calls you, they listen to it. They be like, yo, Bar, I like your voice message, man. Where'd you get that idea from? You know what I mean? Shout out to Steve Lloyd. I think he just lent somebody $7 million 2 weeks ago. And he had told me, he's like, yo, make your message consistent, concise, and easy for people to understand. I like working with investors. I like building a rapport with investors because they buy consistently. And to put in my pipeline, guess what I do on the opposite side? I contact wholesalers every day. Text message, phone call. If you post a property on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you're going to get a DM from me, a direct message, a call. If the numbers make sense, like Evan had a property, I think he wanted 75. My buyer was at 55. I didn't want to disrespect him and give him the 55 cash offer, but she offered 55. She didn't need to see the property. She said, I don't need to see it. If he takes 55, I'm like, he could probably sell it for more to events. But at least I was in contact with him to let him know, like, yo, I'm still doing business. My buyers are still buying. But a lot of buyers, one of my buyers, he took out $3 million. How many people got a buyer who, before COVID hit, he said, this is going to be bad. I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to refi my property, take out $3 million cash, and sit on it to buy deals. when the market falls really bad. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, everybody's not going to pay their bills. Pre-foreclosure is going to go up. Foreclosure is going to go up. But I understood the mindset because the last time the market crashed is when he made his $1 million then. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, when something goes wrong, you internalize, you start getting scared. But if you really think about it, when's the best time to buy properties? When they're cheap.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the best time. But I didn't get in the business to be specifically a wholesaler. I got in the business to make money and be free. And my main thing is to build wealth as you're doing this. So pick up properties. You want to find the best deals? Talk to wholesalers and create that relationship with them, and they can help you find better deals.
All right. 2 more questions, then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, guys? So this is from Tom. Jabbar, what is your approach to a possible new cash investor?
Usually I ask them, what's the last property they bought? If someone tells you they're a cash buyer, they should be able to tell you, I bought 505 Duncannon Street for $62,000. We rehabbed it for $35,000. We sold it for $165,000. Like, they should be able to recant that easily, and they have a group of people. Some people tell me they're cash buyers, they're using hard money. So I ask them, like, how'd you finance your last deal? Do you have a crew? What areas do you like to invest in? You know, if they tell me, anything. I don't deal with people telling me anything. You need to tell me, like, I like Brewery Town. I like South Philly. I like, Mount Airy, West Oak Lane. If you're a true cash buyer, you know what you want. You're looking for flips. You're looking for wholesale deals, rental properties, rental deals. And you'll tell me, I want a cap rate of 12% minimum or 15% minimum. And bad areas and better areas, I want a cap rate of, 10%. You know what I mean? So you should know, like, Spring Garden Street cap rates are 6%, Center City are 5%. As you get into badder areas that are not considered good, you want a 20 cap. So if I'm in North Philly, I want a 20 cap on my cash on cash return. So I want those terminologies out their mouth to let me know that they're serious. And there's new cash buyers who they have a lump sum of money, they went in to get in the game, and you got to educate them on how the process should go.
Awesome. That was quick and good. Quick and good. Joey Chan, roughly how much do you guys spend per month on marketing?
For me, 0. Yeah, I spend a lot of time. Not money, time.
But I do pay for software. I do pay for PropStream. I paid $97 a month for PropStream. That helps me evaluate deals and actually find leads if I needed to, depending on what someone has. So you do have to spend some money, or you have a realtor friend that you work with so that they can help you evaluate. So you definitely have to have some kind of skin in the game on that side.
Evan?
Probably between $5,000 to $10,000 a month.
Just marketing to the tax leads people, right? And then acquisition guys and all that stuff.
I mean, that's I have VAs that I pay. Not that's marketing, but it's like the whole cost of like the operation. I pay VA, cold callers, VAs, acquisition manager, office ground, all that kind of stuff.
All right, we'll just do one more question because I know this is gonna be the last one. Have you guys ever wholesale without showing the property, seeing the buyer in person, or better yet, even seeing the house? Let's do that.
Yes.
During this quarantine, I wholesaled to a veteran buyer, and he was in Florida the whole time, and he never seen it. And even after he settled on it, all he asked me was, "What's the lockbox code?" He was just sending his contractors in, but it was a really interesting one. That this was a straight up a veteran cash buyer, and it was a lot of working together because I wanted like a $2,000 deposit. He was like, Sean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure if you know me, but I buy a lot. I never even use anybody else's title company. I already signed it.
I know his buyer.
I know. He was like, I signed this in favor of showing you that I want this. I'm not haggling you on the price, but I never put 2,000 down. So change it to 500. I'll use your title company. Let's get this thing closed. I was like, all right, you can't be any better than that, and you ain't even here to look at it. Let's go. So hey, it's what they say. When the buyer knows what they want, they don't have to go look at it.
Yeah, and for me, live streams. Yeah, I just use live streams. People see the live stream. I did a property I sold in 8 minutes. That's when I knew Facebook was real. When Facebook first did Facebook Live, I was probably one of the first people to do it. I sold a daycare for 150,000 hours. I made $8,000 in 8 minutes. I did the live stream, went to the property. The lady seen it. She said, I want it. Because I always tell people, if I do something live and I'm in the property, you're seeing what I see. And I mean, but I didn't back it up with pictures and videos, and she bought it cash. I think she settled 3 weeks later, and it was just crazy to me. I was like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "You're leaving everything in there." I was like, "Yeah, we're leaving everything. You can have it all." she bought it.
What about you, Evan?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of properties that I've wholesaled without seeing the property, and the buyer. Did the buyer not see the property? I think usually the buyer sees the property. There's only been a couple that they've done where it's sight unseen.
Awesome.
But there's been a lot where I haven't seen the property.
I just had
crazy.
you know what we should do one day? Like have an actual deal in contract, and in a session go live and try to find a buyer together.
Pitch night online.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like how Jabbar is saying, like, yeah, found a buyer in 8 minutes. Like we go and try to do one within an hour.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks from today.
All right, let's do this. In 2 weeks, one of you guys be at the
I
house.
thought about this because as you're saying it, I have this deal.
We're going right now, ladies and gentlemen.
And I've been trying to work on the time frame with the seller. He's from New York. The COVID thing hurt him. He couldn't get workers. He found a new opportunity elsewhere. He wants to just get out now. And it's like, it's right there. It's like, $10,000 away from retail done. And
I got 75 grand. Let's go.
I thought within the time frame he would drop his price down, but he hasn't. So I would like to maybe do that with you guys one day. Like, yo, let's get this sold in 1 hour.
All right, guys. So 2 weeks from now, we'll do deal night. Okay. I'm going to put you all three that's already on here, if you're available, guys, as the panelists. Okay, we're going to tune in and we're going to try to move deals.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you have deals that you want to sell on that spot, shoot me an email or add me on Facebook, shoot me a message, and we'll let you pitch the deal, or we'll pitch it for you live at that event.
I'm not going to cheat. I won't let Jabbar and Evan know this deal that day, and then we'll go live at that time and do it. Analyze it. You guys make the calls. We'll just go live with it. I think.
Yeah. And what I do always to people is I ask, like I said, I have 75. I have a buyer right now. It's 75 cash. He said, "Bar, the deal makes sense as long as you don't spend all my 75,000. Make it happen." I got a buyer with $3 million. Same thing. So what you do is before you go looking at properties, establish what your buyers are looking for, how much they got to spend, what their criteria is, and then boom, you can literally say, "Yo, I got a deal for you. Let's make it happen. It fits your criteria." Just make calls, text messages, and calls.
Let's do it. So next 2 weeks. All right. Any final words?
Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, final words, and let us know your best contact information for people to reach out to you. And say it slow. Don't read it like it's freaking supersonic. Okay. Say your number slow. All right. We'll start off with Sean.
All right. My phone number is 215-800-5862, and you can best contact me on my Facebook, Sean Radiant Sun. And yeah.
Do you mind saying it? Do you mind saying it like it's a commercial?
Yeah. All right, 800-5862. That's my number again. 215-800-5862. Best way to reach out to me is Sean Radiant Sun on Facebook. That's my best way of communication. I do so much on there, and I look forward to seeing y'all reach out to me.
We love you, Sean. Thank you, bro. Jabbar, workwithbar.com. It's right there, baby. It's right there.
Can't go wrong. Workwithbar.com. And also my Facebook is my name. You can Google search me, Jabbar Fairweather, Jabbar Fairweather. My phone number is 267-975-6801. 267-975-6801. Text me first. Give me your name, what you do. Are you an investor? Are you trying to sell a property? You want to connect. And on my Facebook, if you go to my Facebook, I posted links to the tools that I used, PropStream. There's Print Genie. There's different tools you can use to help you get quicker results. But the best results is just making phone calls, man. Just call people, connect with them, tell them your situation. Be honest with them. Hey, I'm a new wholesaler, or I'm a new buyer, and I'm looking to get into the Philadelphia market, and I want to connect with you. And we'll do a Zoom. You know what I mean? That's it. Simple, easy.
Love it, baby. Workwithbar.com all day.
There you go.
Thank you, Jabbar. Appreciate you, man. And Evan, what's the contact? Oh, here we go, baby. What we got here? All right. I'm gonna read it just in case. We got my man Evan. Best number to reach him on is 484-800-2749. Once again, that's 484, right? 800 2749. Evan, any final words? Because I know you just dropped some fire with that piece of paper.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. I like Facebook a lot. Just send me a friend request or DM me. That's it.
Awesome.
Love it. Nick, anything else?
Let's make wholesaling.
Guys, if you guys learn anything, share the share the stream, comment, let us know. We only do this because we feel that people actually get value out of it. So let us know that you got value out of it, so that way we keep doing it. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for deal night, first ever live deal night. Make sure you're here. If you have deals and you want us to pitch them, add me on Facebook. We'll see you guys later. Peace out. Philadelphia Real Estate Investor Association. We see you now.
Peace. Love you all.
Love you guys.
Real estate week.
I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, we need to get one of those.
Oh my god!
I'm sending them out.
Yeah, that's actually a sweet direct mail marketing campaign. Send something like that out, or a postcard, maybe. I don't know. Let me think.
I don't know. I think it's a little polarizing, but
Some people will hate you, some people will love you.
Are we still live right now?
Yeah, we're bag.
now we can talk about Sean.
Thank you.
He got a family.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Everyone have a good night.
All right, later.
Hit the like and share button, by the way. Hit that like and share.